Men don't choose the best spear in front of them, but he chose a two-handed sword that ate Ash in the corner. It's not that he doesn't want this spear, but the two-handed sword was his partner in the game for 10 years. Just seeing the blood can unlock his other two effects. It can instantly turn into an artifact that crushes the spear. With it, the strength of the white feather string will skyrocket. I will never be almost killed by Kim Ha-na again. As everyone knows, because of a loophole in the system, the man was trapped in the game for 10 years. It is also reduced to a test subject of the Transcendental Project. As the test subjects died one by one, Baek Woo-hyun, who persisted to the end, became Superman. But that inhumane experiment left him with a lingering psychological shad. Electrocution, drug injections, physical transformation. The number of victims reached a horrific 1,000. Baek Woo-hyun, who was the number 62 test subject, collapsed a little at this time, because there were very few people left alive around him. He was afraid that he would be the only one left. The sizzling current has brought Ziyuya to the point of near death. She cried and said goodbye to Baek Woo-hyun. She really couldn't hold on anymore. Baek Woo-hyun couldn't do anything about it. Immediately afterwards, another male companion also fell. His last wish was for Baek Woo-hyun to live. At first, he thought it was just a game, just a realistic game, and he would soon be able to get out. But as time passed, he desperately discovered that this place had become his new reality. Reverse Planet is a virtual reality game. It ranks first in the global game rankings. It is sought after by the public for its themes such as dimensional gates, supernatural abilities, and wars of aggression. He landed on this game under the sword of a lost friend. I never expected this to be a point of no return. He vowed to live and take revenge, so he planned to escape with the other survivors. But when they came to the exit with great difficulty, what awaits them is not freedom, but a more powerful watchdog standing in their way. The man showed a perverted smile, and his murderous expression was beyond words, indicating that this place would become their grave. The team didn't expect this result, but they couldn't wait for death obediently and quickly arranged their tactics. The top of the weapon is in front. Let Baek Woo-hyun support from the rear. The man felt that they were a bunch of fools who overestimated their own strength and just wiped them out. The battle was extremely tragic, and everyone died. In the end, Baek Woo-hyun also strangled the man alive. Baek Woo-hyun cried very sadly, but the next second, something strange happened. A dark shadow crawled out of the bodies of the dead companions. Each one was full of anger and unwillingness, and so he escaped from the Institute. 10 years have passed in a flash. In this way, he kept killing. In order to avenge the people he loves, he reaps one life after another. The security team members were frightened. The barrels of their guns were smoking, and the lawmakers wanted to take the opportunity to escape. But how could Baek Woo-hyun let him go? But Baek Woo-hyun was tired of such never-ending revenge, and everyone was urging him to take revenge. He is also on the verge of collapse. How long will he live like this? And will he live like this until he dies? But at this moment, a pop-up window appeared, and he had been waiting for this thing for more than 10 years. The special mission bug fix, except for the general manager of the Beyond program, is rewarded with the opportunity to return to the original world. Baek Woo-hyun looked at this mission in disbelief, and finally had the opportunity to escape from here. As soon as the picture turned, a blonde man knelt on the ground. Why the hell did you do this? Obviously only the step of enjoying the glory was left. Why, this guy is the general head of the Beyonders program. At this time, his bodyguards were already lying on the ground. The white hair closest to him grabbed his collar. You ask me why I did this. Don't you really know about it? Unexpectedly, the golden retriever slapped him away and shut up subject number 81. I didn't talk to you like this. Mr. Baek Woo-hyun, you have entered the realm of transcendence as a mortal and are truly superhuman. You are the most perfect masterpiece of the Transcendence program. Whatever it is, as long as it is what you want, I will offer it to you. You are completely different from those idiots. A white mist appeared on Baek Woo-hyun's hand, indicating that he did not need it. The golden retriever was anxious when he saw this. Wait, not just that, stupid guy. Do you think everything will end if you kill me? The organization will never let go of anyone who dares to fight against it. Not just you, your family, relatives, colleagues. They will all be destroyed by us. Baek Woo-hyun was originally here to kill him. How could he care about these threats from him? Baek Mao was a little unhappy, saying that blood was splattered on him, and he still had something to ask Golden Retriever. But now he was killed by Baek Woo-hyun. But he didn't know that Baek Woo-hyun didn't listen to him at all, and his eyes were full of pop-ups. The special mission bug fix has been completed. All special tasks have been completed, and the agreed rewards will be distributed soon, whether to return to the original world. Baek Woo-hyun's trembling fingers stretched out to yes, and he could finally get rid of it. But at this moment, countless voices sounded. Woo-hyun, where are you going? Have you forgotten us? Please, go kill those guys. Take revenge, and carry out a cruel revenge. Baek Woo-hyun felt that he had done enough, and he was tired. At this time, Baek Mao patted him on the shoulder. Hey, Baek Woo-hyun, what are you doing? I'm going back to the original world now. Baek Mao was stunned when he heard this. What, the original world? What nonsense are you talking about? You didn't belong here from the beginning. Help me tell the others. Say sorry. In the end, he still ordered yes. When he opened his eyes again, he found himself lying on his side on the bed. bed. This is actually his room. He didn't expect to actually come back. When he opened his phone, he found that it was the same day he was involved in the game, so he didn't lose any time here when he stayed there. Looking at myself in the mirror, the scars and muscles are gone, as if everything is just a dream. But the pictures in my mind are so real. Xiuya's despair, the threat of those in charge, those cannot be dreams. It is said to be a dream, but all the feelings and memories are too vivid, and the 10 years spent there are undoubtedly reality. At this moment, his mobile phone rang, and when he looked at the phone, it was Zheng Neian. But he always felt that the name was familiar. Then there was a roar on the other end of the phone. Hey, Bai Yuxian, why don't you reply to the message? Did you forget the date? Yes, didn't we agree to see you tonight? I'll send you the address. Come over quickly. I'll hang up. Bai Yuxian finally remembered. This is his best classmate, and he is also the culprit who persuaded him to play Reverse Planet. He suspected that Zheng Neian knew it was intentional, but he immediately denied this idea. At the moment, it's better to meet him first. He just went in. Zheng Neian waved to him excitedly, here and here. Bai Yuxian really hasn't seen me for a long time. This is the first time we've seen each other since the holiday. Do you want a drink? Bai Yuxian said that the weather was bad today and he didn't want to drink. The real reason was that if he was drunk and didn't know what he would do, how could he dare to drink? What's wrong with this? Then we just eat and look at the pork belly on the baking sheet, which is considered a luxury for them. At this time, Zheng Neian took the initiative to ask, by the way, have you played Reverse Planet? Didn't you say that you will at least play the beginner tutorial? She doesn't open which pot. After creating the character, she was dragged in directly after watching the opening animation. She only listened to the opening animation, so she was a little dissatisfied. What are you doing? Bai Yuxian, isn't that the same as not playing? Bai Yuxian has the heart to kill after listening. Didn't he play the same? Speaking of whom, I lived in hell for 10 years. If it weren't for you, I'm super looking forward to it, because you said you would come to my live broadcast as a regular guest. Weren't you a leader in the arena before? As long as a small anchor like me can show half of your skills, you will definitely be popular. Bai Yuxian was also stunned, anchor. He seemed to have said what kind of game live broadcast he was going to do, and he finally understood why Zheng Neian kept pestering him to play with him. But he didn't remember agreeing to that kind of thing. You said he would come at least once. And then Bai Yuxian had a sense of reality that he was back. After returning home, Bai Yuxian immediately looked it up on the internet and found that the address of the Reverse Planet Development Company was in Silicon Valley. Then he sighed again. Even if he found the head office, what could he do? Even if he said that he would only be regarded as a madman if he was teleported to another world because of the game. What's even more terrifying, if it really has something to do with them, then he is not a sheep in a tiger's mouth, and if he rashly provokes them, he doesn't know what kind of retaliation he will receive. He didn't know what he was doing now, and since he had escaped from that hell, why did he investigate this? The best way is to forget what happened over there. After all, this is his original world. From that day on, Bai Yuxian began to commute to and from school normally. Try to live an ordinary life. As a student, you should enjoy campus life. But is he really back? Is this kind of day your reality? He didn't expect to bring them over too. He turned around and looked. The students are studying quietly, but the next second he found that everyone had turned into black shadows. Something began to be misaligned, and he remembered the voices of those black shadows in his mind. Revenge for those guys. Revenge. Tragic revenge. This is not the place you should stay. Go kill those guys. Bai Yuxian hurriedly ran out. The classmates didn't know what kind of wind he smoked. Then a hand patted his shoulder. Bai Yuxian, are you okay? Which surprised him. He reflexively grabbed that hand, pulled forward with the trend. Then another punch was thrown quickly, like dealing with a monster. My classmates were frightened. What are you doing? This sound pulled him back to reality, and he hurriedly held his hand. Sorry. His abnormal classmates also found out, and he was very scared. At this time, he just wanted to be alone, but those voices sounded again. Wuxian, enough, come back quickly. Wuhian, have you forgotten us? You have to avenge those guys. At this moment, Yung Nayeon suddenly appeared beside him. Yuxian looked at your haggard face. It seemed that he had been in a trance lately. Something happened. Bai Yuxian didn't want him to worry, and said that nothing happened. Zheng Neian knew that he didn't want to say it, and she didn't insist on remembering to tell my sister in case something happened. I would help you. With this sentence, he was also relieved. In short, let's go first. I brought these undead. If all this doesn't end until they're satisfied, then I can only try to make it happen, he said, looking at the game cabin in front of him. He lay down directly, because he understood that if this continued, there would be no difference between this side and that side. When I go back, I must make a real decision this time. Then a mechanical sound sounded. Welcome to Reverse Planet. Bai Yuxian recognized at a glance that this was the waiting room of the Research Institute. Did he go straight into the game? After all, he couldn't go back to the Institute in another world. He couldn't figure out why he couldn't go back to that world, but he finally made up his mind to return to that hell, or what other conditions were needed. At this point, a pop-up window appears, whether to determine the current character appearance. He felt that he should announce a beginner tutorial, and maybe he could go back when the tutorial was over. He directly set the combat support to 0. After all, in another world, he would still crush all the waves way even without combat assistance. The next step is to choose the first ability core element, where the ability can be reset at any time in the ability system of the reverse planet, which is designed to strengthen the character through various sub-elements after selecting the core element. The combination of abilities from core elements to sub-elements is called build, and because of the extremely large elements, there are even those who devote themselves to building, are called professional builders. And among them, he won the title of Superman, and this is how the core elements are selected. Then a broadcast sounded, Subject 48. It turned out that the game did not show the process before awakening, and he expressed his understanding. After all, no one wants to experience that kind of thing in the game, unless he has masochistic tendencies, and then he is ready to go in and take a look. He was shocked as soon as he entered the door, and he recognized everything that caught his eye turned to ash. Edinal, this is to prevent the revenge of the awakened people of the Transcendent Plan, and the killing machine created is also the culprit that took the lives of countless test subjects. Beginner Tutorial Mission 1, Destroy Edinal. Use the manifested ability to fight Edinal. But looking at his construction, which should be an early version, he remembered those unbearable memories. Brother Yuxian saved me, and he killed countless test subjects. I saw him teleport and rush towards Bai Yuxian. Bai Yuxian rubbed his wrist. Whether it was this or that, it was a virtue. The researchers are really as good as ever, and they will only do something unpleasant. He tilted his head and dodged Edinal's punch, but Edinal's offensive came in waves, and he received orders to destroy everyone who set foot in the room. But no matter how he attacked, Bai Yuxian could easily dodge it. At this time, Bai Yuxian seized a flaw. A poem slapped on his chest. The final version is difficult to get involved because it even has abilities, but now this is just an early version of the product. This blow directly shattered him. The experiment is over, and the level shown by Bai Yuxian this time is completely different from the ability qualifications of ordinary test subjects. The task of destroying Edinal has been completed, and Bai Yuxian can't wait to start the next experiment. At this moment, the alarm sounded. Once again, I have a message to all the innocent victims trapped in the Institute. Please do your best to escape immediately. It turned out that the government intervened, and the woman couldn't figure out how those guys from the government could come here, and this voice seemed familiar to Bai Yuxian. Beginner Tutorial Mission 2, Escape from the Institute. Please try to leave the Institute and run to the outside area. The next second, an explosion came from above his head, and Bai Yuxian felt that he had to leave here first. He ran desperately as the explosion stopped. The hallway has become a mess. Everywhere is Edinal's stumps. He looked at the man leaning against the wall. It turned out to be the symbol of the alien administration. It seems that it is not an enemy. You are a victim. You can come here to show that you want to escape, right? It just so happens that I might be able to help you. And then he opens an arsenal or something. You can take whatever you want here. And this, when you go out, use this to send a radio, and then the people of the administration will come to pick you up. After saying that, he died. Bai Yuxian squatted there and thought about it. He suspected that this was a performance needed for the plot of the game, but what he didn't notice was that an Admiral had appeared behind him. He finally chose a scythe with an iron chain, but he was in a bad mood at this time, and he didn't understand what was going on. At this time, a game anchor named Jiang Suli also landed on this game, and she also arrogantly said that I would actually come to play the national game of Reverse Planet, and my pride as a niche enthusiast was crying. The news in the live broadcast room is also very exciting. She still knows that she is a niche enthusiast. This is the mainstream game you choose yourself. This is a national masterpiece who has just started playing. This reaction is really incomprehensible. Who used a knife to force you to play replay as a punishment? Jiang Suli was so angry when she saw this. This is not the punishment I set. It was decided by you without authorization, okay. But since she said she had to do it, who let her spoil her fans? She is a woman who never violates her agreement with the audience. But the audience directly said to her, how many times did she lie about the really popular game she would play next time? And last time she also said that it was a mainstream game and took a niche selection again. But don't talk too much about her. Otherwise, who will broadcast these niche games to us? Jiang Suli showed good personal quality and did not get angry, but went at her own pace. So now I will fulfill the punishment of failing the customs clearance challenge and replan it, taste it first. The audience is not stupid and knows that she is changing the subject. Newbies enter the game through a process. She maintains her appearance, and her ability chooses a handsome flame. Finally, there is the percentage system of combat support, which is very intimately explained that combat support is a set of systems that provide all-round help for combat through posture and movement support abilities. Using corrections and other methods, the higher the percentage, the greater the help you can get, and the ratio can be set by yourself. Fans are giving him bad ideas again. Does this have to be 0%? No tutorials have been assisted. 0% Changcheng haha, it won't be cowardly, Mom. I will play without assistance when I grow up, and Mom, I will play without assistance when I grow up. But Jiang Suli was not stupid and began to think, is it possible to clear the beginner's tutorial without assistance? She did her homework beforehand, and and the percentage of players in the world who choose to play without assistance is basically 0%. Although she plays niche games, her operation is not bad, but when she hears that she doesn't need assistance, it feels like she has to control a sudden extra third hand. She feels that it doesn't work, and these fans want to see her make a fool of themselves. She immediately became coquettish, no matter how you say it. It is difficult to say that there is no assistance, but in the next second, the task popped up to clear the beginner's tutorial without assistance, and the reward was 500,000 won after completion. He suddenly changed his face. His eyes turned into money, and he said insincerely, challenging wants to be considered a real anchor. Fans are not stupid. They began to ridicule, and as soon as the mission came out, they changed their words ha ha ha. Their attitude changed too quickly. The ghost of capitalism. Jiang Suli is as energetic as chicken blood, and I will do it in unassisted mode until I clear the beginner tutorial. But soon she regretted it. Are you really right to do this? As a result, he was killed by Adnal at the beginning. She was so angry that she started crying. She didn't explain anything. She came up and let her fight and even engage in a sneak attack. And some fans comforted her that it was very good to last for 2 minutes, and there were many professional players who lost to her. It must be difficult to beat Adnal with only one core element in the no-assist mode, and some people say that this is not a task designed for you to win. But Jiang Suli was not discouraged, now that the radio and weapons have been looted, as long as she escapes. At this time, she also received the novice tutorial task too, escape from the research institute, and is starting to automatically match the team, and the team is matching, and it is recommended to form a team of 4 people. This gave her hope. It's good to form a team, and clearing the level with the matched teammates can be regarded as completing the task. Fans are talking again. Hey, that's 2 lying down to win. Haha, hugging the thighs, of course it's okay. If you know how this tutorial is matched, you can't say this anyway. You can't match people. It's the mouths of the 2 fans behind seem to have been opened. The system popped up the matching failure. Jiang Suli was dumbfounded. How could it not match? Replanet is a national game. There should be a lot of players. Is starting to match the extended search team, and the matching extended search will also include the tasks that are already in progress into the matching scope. Look, it's not okay, but why not? I really don't understand. Matching will only find people with the same combat assistance percentage, which Madman will use the tutorial without assistance mode. It's not that. Wait a minute. Doesn't that mean that the matched teammates are also in unassisted mode, Huhaha? So it's an unassisted team? This is a rhythm that has to fly, and I admit it if I can pass it with an unassisted team. Jiang Suli also had the idea of canceling the mission. Unexpectedly, the next second miracle appeared, and the team matching was successful. She screamed and pressed the cancel button wildly, but it was too late. Join the ongoing tutorial quest, escape from the institute, and you're done. As soon as she arrived at the mission site, she was stunned by the scene in front of her, only to see Ednal lying on the ground. She felt dazzled, and you didn't seem to be kidding. The people in the live broadcast room were also confused. What's the situation? No, this is really fake. This is really played by the unassisted team. To be honest, this is crazy. Is it a professional player to open a trumpet? No one among the professional players can play like this in the novice tutorial with no assistance mode. The most shocking thing is that these are not solved with guns. The no assist mode killed so many Edinels without even a gun. Jiang Suli was overjoyed. This is completely the rhythm of lying down and winning. Then I have to hurry to find this boss. At this time, Bai Yuxian solved a few more Edinel. Suddenly, his eyes looked in a certain direction. It was Jiang Suli who sneakily found it. This one here, before she finished speaking, a bloody knife appeared in front of her. Jiang Suli was frightened when the knife was only 0.01 centimeters away from her. The next second, she was so frightened that she hid. Help! Bai Yuxian also withdrew the knife after finding out that she was not an enemy. Sorry, I made a mistake. Then he turned around and was about to leave. Wait, we seem to have been matched into a team. Can we go together if possible? Before he could agree, Jiang Suli followed. My name is Jiang Suli. I am an anchor who does a personal live broadcast on the internet. By the way, I am live streaming now. Do you mind appearing on camera? I have turned on the information protection mode, so your face will definitely be covered. Bai Yuxian suddenly stopped when he heard this, and Jiang Suli was startled, thinking that he was angry. It turned out that someone actually appeared. It was a test subject who escaped, and he was killed without being arrested. Immediately, a bang of gunshots rang out. Jiang Suli was so frightened that she squatted on the ground with her head in her hands. How could the difficulty of the novice tutorial be so difficult? But then she saw a scene that she would never forget. Bai Yuxian was able to dodge the bullet at a speed, and his body movements were even more exaggerated. The chain sickle showed great power in his hands. Those with machine guns can't do with cold weapons, which is extremely unreasonable. The live broadcast room also exploded. Wow, what the hell is that, Chain Jenny? Jiang Suli was not afraid of jokes, so she hid aside and began to humbly ask for advice, because I don't know much about Reverse Planet, but this operation is very unreasonable, right? How can I use that kind of weapon without assistance? Yes, it's very unreasonable. What am I looking at now? Does anyone know what ability that big guy uses? The red color also also suddenly turns white. Look at the movement of the chain. Is it the wind? No, if it's not the wind, it's more obvious, and the same goes for telekinesis, although I don't know what it is. But if I meet that kind of person in PvP, I am confident that I will be abused as a dog. The core element of changing the eye color to improve physical ability is only perfect existence. Jiang Suli was a little surprised. Doesn't that thing cause you to be unable to use the ability? So it's said to be garbage, don't choose it. That's why we say we don't understand. Perfection is one of the many core elements of reverse planning. Physical abilities and ability resistance will be greatly increased, but no ability skills will be used. Because of this negative effect, he is regarded as an epic waste skill among players. On the Reversal of Time and Space forum, perfect existence ranked first in the core elements of Bila Black. To be honest, I don't understand why this kind of garbage core element is out at all. Just the fact that you can't use the ability already says everything. If any guy in the team chooses this, quickly quit the team. Jiang Suli felt that there was nothing wrong with what she said, which was indeed a bit unreasonable. In a game that focuses on abilities, choose a construction that can't be built with abilities. And some people say that I haven't seen a person who chooses perfect existence for so long playing Reverse Planet, of course. Some people are curious that it is fake, and the result is that they scream and delete the number, and another feature of perfect existence is that the eyes turn white. It is indeed difficult to use passwords in unassisted mode, so simply giving up points and investing them all in physical abilities can be regarded as a strategy. But she couldn't figure out that Bai Yuxian should still be at the first level. How could he make that kind of action? What the hell is this guy from? She has never seen such a fierce man. Kill them with just a chain. This is simply a reappearance of the god of death. But the undead felt that it was not enough. Yuxian, it was not enough. No matter how cruel they were to take revenge, this level alone would not satisfy me. But at this moment, a fish that escaped the net quietly appeared. He even aimed at him with his muzzle. Jiang Suli dodged in front of Bai Yuxian and pulled the trigger. 3 bullets interrupted the sneak attacker. The angry sneak attacker trembled, and the 100 secrets were sparse. Jiang Suli, who fell to the ground, took another shot. The sneak attacker died in an instant. Jiang Suli did not forget to concave a shape and blew the muzzle of the gun in a classic way. This time the people in the live broadcast room were fans of him, and they did not hesitate to praise Wow. To be honest, this is handsome. I said that this guy's marksmanship is really good nonsense. If you want to play this niche game, you have to be good at marksmanship. And those who don't know think that people are killed by him. Isn't it just a head grabber, hee. Get out of the head grabbing person. Get out of the head grabbing person. At this time, Jiang Suli turned her head to look at Bai Yuxian. Anyway, it can be regarded as a help. The good guy turned out to be a sucker. A memory of Bai Yuxian suddenly appeared here. Anyway, I'm confused. Brother Yuxian saw the girl running towards him. Do the treasures know who this is? It can't be Ziuya. At this moment, Jiang Suya interrupted him. The driver's eldest brother. This title made Bai Yuxian stunned. What the hell is it called? That. You're not angry, of course. I know it's all the driver's brother you hit. I just rubbed it. You really helped. The live broadcast room became lively again. This driver's big brother is also too good. Even the head grabber is so generous. With flying is simply a god man, although it is a privacy protection mode and cannot see the face. But I always feel that he is also very handsome. Don't you think his voice is also very crispy? Although I know that it is a voice changer that has been processed. But I always feel that Jiang Suli is so generous when she sees Bai Yuxian, really. Can we do the tutorial tasks together? I will definitely do my best to help. Bai Yuxian readily agreed. That driver's big brother. Bai Yuxian really can't listen to it. Just call me Bai Yuxian, okay, Mr. Yuxian? He guessed that this might be his real name because this should not be blocked. But she still couldn't help but ask the question in her heart. If I didn't offend you, did you choose the core element of your original ability to be a perfect existence? Bai Yuxian directly admitted that after all, there was nothing to hide. While this is okay, the skill of perfect existence should be reevaluated, and upstairs should be reevaluated. This is still a waste of wood. It will not change. What the upstairs said is right. Can ordinary people use it like the driver's brother? Jiang Suli also looked incredulous when she heard this. Plus envy. Wow, how can you dodge bullets without superpowers? Do you usually play any other games? No, I don't particularly like to play games. And after saying that, he suddenly stopped again. What's wrong? There are 2 Adnal about 20 meters ahead. What 20 meters? But Jiang Suli couldn't figure it out. He didn't have the ability to sense remotely. How could he grasp the location and number of enemies 20 meters away, which was too unreasonable? Bai Yuxian asked her not to care too much about following him. Is it true? When she saw that there were really 2 Adnal, Jiang Suli was shocked. At this time, Bai Yuxian looked thoughtful. Speaking of the Colosseum game I played quite interestingly. Jiang Suli was very speechless. The eldest brother was more dangerous than that. Stop quickly. He just finished speaking. Bai Yuxian appeared in front of Adnal with a teleportation. A 42-yard kick kicked Adnal straight away. Just one blow kicked an Adnal into a part. You must know that he was on the leaderboard when he was the craziest player at the beginning. At this time, he clenched his fists again. Directly directly hit another Edinal. The powerful impact made the space tremble, and the live broadcast audience went crazy again. Crazy, just solve Adinal like this, haha. Don't forget that this is even in unassisted mode. Is this the strength of the Colosseum high play? As soon as it is said that the Colosseum is high play, his previous operations can be understood. Jiang Suli didn't understand. Is the Colosseum so powerful? Wow, I don't even know how to play in the Colosseum, so these niche players are really not good. In fact, I don't know, hehe. Is it very powerful? People who understand such subtitles immediately jump out to popularize them, although I don't know how it is now. But in the past, as long as you became a Colosseum high player, there will be a professional team to poach people immediately. That's right, that's how Battler actually became a professional player. Battler player. Jiang Suli knows that Battler is not the most famous person in the professional circle of Reversal Planet. Since he is from the Colosseum, will he have played against Battler? I am really curious about what will happen to the driver and Battler in PvP in the Reversal Planet. After solving the two Edinal, Bai Yuxian no longer stayed and continued to move forward. Soon they came to the exit of the Institute. A loud voice came into their ears. You really have the ability to climb here. Don't you know that this place is about to become your grave? Yo is still Bai Yuxian's old acquaintance, the captain of the Research Institute and the novice tutorial boss. But this guy's arrogance has not changed at all. You will soon be able to see your companions who took the first step. Seeing him, Bai Yuxian knew that the novice tutorial was the last one. But the next second, he seemed to see something incredible. I saw countless undead crawling out from behind the captain of the guard, but he didn't know it. The undead all showed expressions of cannibalism. At this time, the captain of the guard has already begun to attack, and you don't want to go back alive. Jiang Suli picked up the gun and attacked fiercely, but they were all blocked by the guard captain's protective shield. Jiang Suli felt a little naughty. Isn't the particle barrier only available to the awakened? Netizens were very enthusiastic to help him answer. The captain of the guard is also an awakener. Anyway, he is the boss of the novice tutorial. It is normal to have this level of ability, and it is too naive to think that he wants to rely on firearms to pass the level without thinking. Seeing that things were not going well, Jiang Suli quickly hid, Mr. Yuxian. I will provide fire support from behind. Netizens will not miss the opportunity to satirize her, and when they see that they can't beat it, they immediately call the driver's big brother. Even if it's just a game, if it can give you a little satisfaction. Bai Yuxian punched out, and the particle barrier that could not be deformed by bullets actually dented. The captain of the guard flew out backwards and smashed a cloud of dust. Jiang Suli was stunned. What kind of monster is this? Hehe, he didn't shoot just now. Why did the guard captain's particle barrier open by himself, and there was a bug? When has the captain of the guard suffered such a loss, you bug-like guy? At this time he switched to a new skin. The body of steel appeared. What's going on with the skin? Is it the ability of the captain of the guard? Yes, the captain's ability is the body of steel. He jumped and rushed towards Bai Yuxian. I want to tear you to pieces, or netizens are sharp-eyed. How did the ground sink? The weight of the steel body was at least a ton. If it was punched, it would not be possible to see God on the spot. Bai Yuxian easily dodged this fatal punch. Seeing that he couldn't hit it, the captain of the guard roared, how long do you think you can hide? In the next second, one of his arms turned into high-speed electricity. Wherever they passed, the rubble on the walls flew over. Bai Yuxian couldn't keep dodging. I saw him clenching his fists. Netizens also pinched a cold sweat for him. As long as he was punched, it was a fatal injury, but he just didn't get hit. It was difficult for me to avoid the attack of the guard captain with the auxiliary open, and I actually said to this kind of person what kind of fire support the next second. In the next second, Bai Yuxian's fist swept over the tin face of the guard captain, directly shattering his goggles. The captain of the guard knelt down and coughed a few times, and his steel state began to be lifted. But Bai Yuxian was not happy. Don't lift your steel state because you can't die easily. But netizens are urging him to be killed and torn to pieces, just like what we have experienced in the past, which is even more cruel than that. At this time, the captain of the guard looked frightened. How could a test subject like you have such power? Bai Yuxian looked down at him. It's all thanks to you. Jiang Suli was completely reduced to an audience at this time. Killed the captain of the Institute's guard. What exactly did we just see? Wow, handsome exploded, hehe. This is called the driver's big brother. Please recognize the fact that this is in unassisted mode. But how can he look so skilled in beating people? Anyway, finally even the boss of the novice tutorial was killed. And now the only thing left to do is to go out. Thinking about it this way, it's really cool to succeed in free prostitution. Isn't it why there will be a big brother of the driver at this point in time? And finally, this netizen obviously wants to see Jiang Suli deflated. Then let's go. Bai Yuxian just left. Netizens entangled the body of the captain of the guard, as if they were going to drag him into hell. As soon as she left the research institute, Jiang Suli also breathed a sigh of relief and finally escaped, and the tutorial task was completed by escaping from the research institute, and the level was upgraded to get 1 ability point. Mr. Yuxian, do you want to continue to push the main plot today? No, I plan to be here today. He was not tempted by Jiang Suli's beauty at all, and the live broadcast was about to end. end. Netizens seized the time to count Jiang Suli. Netizens of the Gray Game Company said that this anchor is really cheeky enough. Forbes selects the anchor who knows how to pros the most, but the netizen who is too difficult to get up with the username thinks it's still quite interesting. Why did I have to go off the air when I just came in? This netizen obviously didn't catch up with the good time. In this way, the task of clearing the beginner's tutorial in unassisted mode was successful. So today's live broadcast is also interesting, and we will see you tomorrow. Seeing that Bai Yuxian was still there, Jiang Suli immediately put forward an idea. Can you come to my live broadcast regularly? Live broadcast appearance. A drop of cold sweat appeared on Bai Yuxian's face. Yes, we mainly do the main quest of reversing the planet together, and we can occasionally play PvP. The schedule will definitely be arranged according to the time you want, and I will also give you a full appearance fee. Jiang Suli looked forward to it after saying that, but Bai Yuxian directly refused. Jiang Suli was a little disappointed. I understood, looking at this expression, it seems that persuasion is useless, but it is still okay to add a friend first. Then she was ready to go off the air. I really had fun playing games together today. I wish you a good time playing in the reversal planet in the future. I didn't expect her to be quite polite. This beginner's tutorial is completely over, leaving him alone standing there. But what he was looking forward to didn't happen. Why he still couldn't go back there. But what he didn't know was what kind of waves his game operation would make in the future. At this time, a video on the Reversal of Time and Space forum quietly appeared, and the technical post analyzed why the video without assistance and firearms was a plugin. Let me explain why Bai Yuxian is hanging on the wall. But at this time, a more explosive message appeared. Anonymous viewer number 62 sponsored 3,000,001. How does it feel to return to reality? Early the next morning, the developer of the Reverse Planet, Planet Earthsmith branch, because of only one user, this group of people is now facing an unprecedented situation. I saw Bai Yuxian beating the novice boss violently in the video. The picture is unbelievable no matter how many times you watch it. Without assistance, or even without even a weapon to smash the captain of the guard, the atmosphere in the online community has determined that this is the plug-in users who are swiping the screen on the company's internal bulletin board and asking for an explanation. The regional manager felt even more headache. Sure, if it was really not a plugin. Huang Mao replied very simply, sure. Just in case, all data from the beginning of character creation has been checked, and there is no record of tampering with external programs. And although I have seen countless wall hangings so far, there are guys who run all over the wall. There are guys who become transparent people. But this kind of action is definitely the first time I have seen it. It's simply unreasonable, this operation that even plugins can't imitate. Huang Mao looks a little jealous. If it weren't for the plugin, then this would be a madman. But there is also a very low probability that it may be a new type of plugin that we have not yet discovered. The regional manager agreed, but in any case it had to be verified. At this time, in a cold drink shop, Bai Yuxian and Zheng Mannion were dating. In other words, because my online community fell out. Bai Yuxian seemed a little incredulous. Yes, it's a mess now, and there are even unassisted challenges among users. The community forum even defines you as hanging on the wall. Not that you can't do it because everyone has failed. So the current public opinion completely regards you as a hanging wall. Do you know how surprised I was when I first saw that video? You actually said your real name. But Bai Yuxian couldn't figure it out. The live broadcast was obviously turned on in personal information protection mode or broadcast with a mask. Zheng Nayan shouldn't recognize herself. Did you report your name? And I have seen you fight before. Having said that, although I know you are very strong, I didn't expect it to be this much. People who don't know it will indeed say that it is a cheat. So there is such a connection. What is the contact? Contact the Korean branch of the planet to contact you and say they want to verify if you have used the plugin. At this moment, Jiang Suli sent a message. Bai Yuxian had no choice but to explain that it was conveyed through that anchor. Zheng Nayan became a melon-eating masses in seconds, and the game company actually had to come forward to verify whether it was open, and this hatred value was going to be full. So do you want to accept it? Bai Yuxian did want to agree, although it was only a Smuda branch, but this was the only opportunity to contact the developer, and if he could lead out a person with a fairly high level, he might be able to get clues about that world. Although I said I would think about it, I still decided to try Zheng Nayan, who seemed more excited than her. Really thought, well, if you want to continue to play Reverse Planet, it is better to explain clearly and then play. After all, if you see everyone being called a paintbrush, you will be in a bad mood. Anyway, I don't care about you anymore. It doesn't matter. Besides, will anyone recognize me? And I didn't show my face in the live broadcast. Bai Yuxian was still lucky at this time, but Yong Nayeon's words shattered his illusions. No, even if the name was changed, your fighting posture is so unique that it is impossible not to recognize it. And there is no style like you that does not even exist in the professional circle of fighting without supernatural abilities. Even recently, even if professional players want to hide their identities, they will all be picked up because of the habits revealed during the battle. And the eyes of netizens are bright, such as Rookie has not escaped because of those those habits that he did not even notice exposing his information. Right, but fortunately you agreed, otherwise that anchor would definitely be scolded. Bai Yuxian really didn't understand this time. He was him. Jiang Suli was Jiang Suli. The two couldn't fight. Fool. Is this important to those who are noisy because of the plug-in controversy now? Although they will only scold you at first, but they will soon turn the finger to that Bai Yuxian, thinking that the internet is really scary. Immediately he replied to Jiang Suli to express his acceptance. Jiang Suli felt that happiness came a little suddenly. She looked at the mobile phone screen in disbelief, and it became and became. With the current popularity, the audience will also skyrocket, and her previous record was 8,584 people in the live broadcast room. She couldn't help but laugh. Everyone should be prepared to be startled, because this would be a scene that had never been seen before in the history of the planet. Immediately she issued an announcement. We'll conduct a plug-in clarification live broadcast. Hello everyone, this is the hottest person recently, Mr. Bai Yuxian's plug-in controversy, about the clarification live broadcast of the controversy. 4 days later, Bai Yuxian landed in the game again. Jiang Suli greeted him immediately. Hello Yuxian. I feel very uncomfortable these days. I feel like it's because of me that I've become like this. I'm really sorry, it doesn't matter. I actually don't care much compared to that Su Li, don't you doubt me. Jiang Suli was a little surprised when she heard this. I saw your actions with my own eyes that day, and the basis for people's cheating is also very weak, and the most important thing is that your crazy killer-like eyes make me dare not think about that at all. Then she took out a camera. In short, if it was ready, the live broadcast began. Hello everyone, let everyone wait for a long time. Jiang Suli said that she did not forget to compare scissor hands. Netizens have long been unable to wait. Finally started, explain, I'm going to die if I wait. Is this a live broadcast room for sale? Hanging walls. In order to see this, I specially ordered fried chicken. Obviously I have something to explain. I will report a gap first and wait and see. As Jiang Suli expected, the live broadcast room exceeded 10,000 people at the beginning, and she had to marvel at how popular it was, which also showed that everyone was very concerned about this plug-in controversy. So I invited Mr. Yu Xian again. Hello everyone, I'm Bai Yuxian, and he started scolding as soon as he appeared. Crazy X hanging on the wall, the skin is so thick. What's the point of playing the game? Of course, there are also people who are unfair. What is the reaction of the barrage? What if you don't hang up what you plan to do? Now I still believe that the little ghosts who are not hanging are careful to be brainwashed. I don't know if they have to remain neutral before the results come out. So whether it is hanging or not, in short, there are all kinds of things. Jiang Suli can't stand it anymore. Please abide by the barrage etiquette. If it's too extreme, I will turn off the chat function. Before the official verification, what does Mr. Yu Xian think about this controversy? I feel speechless. Just because of this level of controversy, his words made netizens explode again. Just turning the reversal planet upside down actually said that it was just. This is the Versailles of the Colosseum, and the wall is still installed. Jiang Suli also felt that some netizens were right, and it was indeed just that the operation was too amazing. So how to explain it? Netizens were very looking forward to it, and the question was good. Just for today's verification, we invited a special guest. It was almost time to arrive, but I didn't expect Jiang Suli to sell a pass. A man appeared in the next second, which was the guest invited by Jiang Suli. What's even more explosive is that the name on her head is GM. Hello everyone, I am Park Jinxian, the first operation team leader of Planet Farth's Muta branch. Netizens were really shocked, and they actually called the operation. What? It's not that it's true. The GM title on the top of the head will only be displayed by the operation authorized by the head office. It seems that it's really not me who is following the trend. What should I do now? Bai Yuxian's eyes lit up a glimmer of hope. Since he was the head of the operation team, it was indeed very likely that he would know something, and he would have to ask him various questions when the verification was over. The three of them saluted each other. Thank you for coming so specially. I am the anchor Jiang Suli. I am Bai Yuxian. Fortunately, Park Kaiyang Haiyan looked at Beek Wu Haiyan in front of him. Is this the Bai Wu Haiyan who caused the problem? And his appearance looks nothing special. Then please follow me to the verification site. The three of them quickly arrived at a metal room, which was a personal training room, where they could practice the use of abilities or conduct combat training. And as communicated in advance, verification would be carried out by observing multiple rounds of battles to confirm whether there was an external program to assist. Bai Yuxian observed, this is a space that has never been seen in that world. Park Jun Haiyan looked at Beek Wu Haiyan. Do you agree? Yes, I agree. In that case, it would be easy to do. The next second, an Adnal appeared. Wow, isn't this the mid-level version of Adnal? No assistance plus only clicking on the first core element, add points. You can win the intermediate training robot. I don't understand which game is very strong. It can't be compared to the initial version that appears in the beginner's tutorial. We will start directly with the ultimate training robot, and Bai Yuxian's pupils will immediately change, turning on the perfect existence mode. At this time, the voices of the undead sounded again. Yuxian, I'm so afraid to help me take revenge. match. Woo-hyun Park Kyung-hyun looked at the test tablet in his hand and announced that the fight had officially begun, and he was shocked as soon as he finished speaking, found that Bai Yuxian beside him had disappeared. Then a piece of debris smashed at him, and he hurriedly blocked it with a tablet. For fear of collapsing him, the live broadcast room is lively again. Is he now pinching the intermediate Edinal with his bare hands? Even if that thing was smashed by a big hammer, it was unscathed, shivering. But only I thought it was a little scary, really scary. Adinal looked so pitiful. Crazy, I saw Bai Yuxian stepping on Edinal, holding a part in his hand. However, Park Kyung-hyun's test tablet showed that no external program intervention was detected. This is definitely not a cheat. At this time, the first round of testing has ended, but Park Kyung-hyun did not get the desired results, although the use of external programs was not detected in this battle. But after all, the verification time is too short. Can you please fight in the way specified here? Originally, it was to confirm whether it was an automatic battle plugin, and Bai Yuxian had no reason to refuse. The automatic battle plugin is basically operated by the program agent, so the winning method is determined before the battle, and if you can fight as required, you can prove that it is not a plugin. Park Jun-hyun didn't expect Bai Yuxian to be so talkative. He had already thought about how to test next. Thank you. Then please use a chain sickle to cut off the heads of 3 intermediate training robots. Bai Yuxian said no problem. Seeing that he agreed so happily, Park Kyung-hyun was not calm. What was going on? It was obviously an absolutely unfavorable condition, but he didn't feel that he would lose at all. Immediately, 3 Edinal appeared. They attacked Bai Yuxian at the same time, wanting to solve him with one blow. But Bai Yuxian had teleported to the distance at the same time as they made a move, and they came and went indiscriminately. As soon as Bai Yuxian made a great contribution to the chain, he saw that Edinal's body had been cut open. He just looked back handsomely. The 3 Adinals shattered all over the ground, and he even cleaned the corners of his clothes, which was a one-hit kill. Jiang Suli immediately became excited when she saw this, and sure enough, I didn't see the sickle wrong at that time. It flew around like a living one, and you all saw it. Netizens in the live broadcast room interacted again. I just saw something. The chain scythe is really a scythe weapon, not a sickle and a scythe. It's the big guy who is lazy. Agree. The scythe was originally used to hook the enemy close to the enemy. Park Kyung-hyun only recovered from the shock at this time, and the data required for verification had been fully collected. But as the operator of this game, pure curiosity surges into the question of whether one core element alone can defeat advanced training robots. Although this is a kind of selfishness, try again in the end. As the metal gate slowly opened, a pair of blood-red machine eyes appeared. It was actually a female version of Edinal, and netizens looked incredulous. To take that out, is this a bit excessive? The operator is ruthless, if this can be won. The National Certification Association has to certify him as a humanoid plugin. It will be verified by an advanced training bot, which is a later version of Adinal. Bai Yuxian stood opposite him, calm and calm, unable to see any emotion. He clearly remembered that there were countless test subjects who died at the hands of this guy. At that time, Adinal actually showed a cruel and perverted expression. Thinking of this, Bai Yuxian burst out with murderous aura, but Edinal took the lead in making a shot. This was the first time Bai Yuxian was injured, and a blood line was wiped out on his face. But passive beating was not his style, and he clenched his fists. Dodging Edinal's chain punches, the air was hit with a sonic boom. From the wall behind him, it can be seen that if he gets punched, he will have to see God immediately. Sure enough, it is more than one notch stronger than the intermediate one. In the current state, the hardness of the body is not enough. The attack cannot break the opponent's defense at all, and the other party's speed is also super fast. In that case, fight until the defense is broken. Jiang Surai and Park Jun-hyun were stunned, and netizens thought he was crazy. Except for being crazy, there is really nothing to say. Isn't this reasonable? I'm a little scared now. Obviously, I will die if I hit him, but I definitely can't hit him. Park Kyung-hyun also did not expect that someone could compete head-on with advanced training robots with only one core element. Even at first, it looked at a disadvantage. At the beginning, it gradually formed a suppression, and this wave of operation was unreasonable, but this is a fact. He felt that there was no need to continue observing, only to see him click on the screen. In the next second, Edinal's figure disappeared from Bai Yuxian's eyes, which made Bai Yuxian stunned, and he also wanted to kill Edinal. Park Jun-hyun walked up to him, verified that the required data had been collected, and the training robot had been removed, and Baek Woo-hyun also knew why Edinal suddenly disappeared. Jiang Sulu hurriedly asked what the verification results were, which is also a concern for netizens, and it has been confirmed that there is no external program involved. Simply put, it is not a plugin. Some netizens still can't accept that others are better than them. Why isn't this me? Why? The operator officially announced that it was not me, and there was no evidence at the beginning to insist that it was hanging. Hahaha, the person who initially said that it was hanging up also deleted the post. Jiang Suli also felt relieved. I said it's not hanging. Is there anyone still suspicious? How could there be any? Hahaha, how to win the official hammer by making up for the brain. scene. The trolls have to shut up after seeing this, to be honest. But why does this guy look more excited? Ha 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 ha, I have seen what kind of hanging operation several times before. This is the real hanging operation. In short, everyone must remember that Yuxian is not open, but has hard power like hanging. Okay, now that the verification is over, I can finally ask the two of you to say a word of impressions. Beak Yuxian came to say that he has worked hard. Park Junhyun laughed and said that it was very interesting. Today's live broadcast is here. See you next time live broadcast. Judging from the data, the number of viewers exceeded 100,000, and netizens were a little reluctant. This is about to be broadcast. Don't you have the eyesight to see? I just came. I only said that it was good to do a clarification live broadcast, but today's live broadcast is really a famous scene. Bye-bye. Thank you again for allowing me to participate in the live broadcast. No, I want to thank you for readily agreeing to the verification request. Especially you, Xian. I didn't expect Park Jun-hyun to be quite polite, and then he was ready to quit the game. But Bai Yuxian stopped him. Please wait. There is one thing I want to ask you. Park Jun-hyun was stunned when he heard this. What you said was that what you wanted to ask was, is there any bug in the game, such as the case of not being able to quit the game because of the bug? Park Kyung-hyun had a question mark on his face when he heard this. Was it the first time he had heard of this? I had never heard of that kind of thing. If there was really that kind of fatal, it would not be possible to reverse the planet to become a world-class game. Also, I know, Bai Yuxian still hasn't gotten the answer. With a particle light curtain, Park Kyung-hyun went offline. Jiang Suli took a breath, and it was finally over. Yuxian really worked hard for you today. Ah, by the way, and I want to settle the live broadcast income to you. Can I contact you again later? Bai Yuxian thinks that the money is fine, but it is still possible to contact him. But what he doesn't know is that Jiang Suli has her own little abacus. It's a pity to let him go like this. The walking human material is in front of her. Is there anything else to say? But in the end, Jiang Suli still didn't have the courage to say it. After all, this live broadcast only requested until the clarification session. Let's give up today, and then say that it's nothing. Then I'll contact you next time. Bai Yuxian looked at the pop-up window in front of him, and was a little disappointed that he didn't get anything more than expected. At this moment, Zhang Neiyan sent a message, and after the live broadcast, we met directly in the battle preparation room. I saw Zhang Neiyan doing the live broadcast with a gossipy face again. How did it feel? And now the reaction on the forum is super enthusiastic, completely popular. Bai Yuxian felt that he was still not comfortable with it, and he had to discuss it again, and he felt uncomfortable playing games while chatting in the chat window. Is it? Then if you don't mind, I said if you don't care about the chat window and just play the game by yourself. Bai Yuxian doesn't know what he wants to do. I will help you set it all up. You try it again and then decide. Bai Yuxian didn't expect to be forced to open again. He didn't want to do live broadcasts or anything like that. Okay, then it's almost time to play PvP. Zhang Neiyan is really on his own. PvP is the abbreviation of player versus player, which refers to the battle between players. Together with PvA, it is known as the two god-level gameplay of reversing planets. PvP suddenly called me to the battle preparation room for this, of course. Do you want to quit the game without fighting with me? Bai Yuxian is the most ugly of this, not that. I think this game is not suitable for me. I plan to stop playing for the time being and return to that distant world. But Zhang Mannion stared at me. PvP is the essence of reversing the planet. Don't just play some beginner tutorials and rush to conclusions. He felt that what Zhang Neiyan said made some sense. Although the PvE of the story mode was almost the same as the world over there, but the PvP was all things he had never seen. Maybe there would be something different from the story mode. I know, I will try. Then let me explain to you PvP. First of all, the duel. As the name suggests, it is to play against the matched opponent. There are single 1-on-1 and double 2-on-2, using a best-of-3 system, followed by struggle, occupation war, scramble battle, escort battle, and annihilation war. This is a 5v5 fixed team battle between choosing one of 4 modes. Then today is to play survival. Spend 100 yuan in multiple areas, loot equipment to fight, and the last surviving member or team wins the battle royale. Today, because it's the first time to play team mode, and if you want to play PvP, you have to form a suitable build first. I will recommend it to you. Bai Yuxian heard that he didn't need that. He happened to know a good build, so that he in the other world was collectively called Superman's build. I'll order it while you're ready to connect. Okay, then I'll prepare the starting point right away, and it's still a military base is a regular operation. One of the military base PvP survival maps, a place where all kinds of advanced equipment are evenly distributed because of the gathering of high-level players, so it is not suitable for beginners. At this time, Zhang Neiyan started to live again. Really? Can I record us playing PvP today? I want to upload it to the short video platform. Bai Yuxian looked disgusted and asked her to record from a distance. But calm down, then I can't even understand why this child is so excited. Then Zhang Neiyan pressed the button. 2 pop-ups pop up. The starting point has been determined as the first area, and the military base is 60 seconds left before the start of the game. Zheng Neian saluted, "Meet a live friend." Immediately, Bai Yuxian appeared in an abandoned building, and a man in green appeared with him. At this time, he was not aware of the danger. The corridor on the 3rd floor, he couldn't find anything good here, so he quickly moved to another place. As soon as he finished speaking, Bai Yuxian appeared behind him. Then there was a burst of fire, and Zheng Neian looked at the pop-up window that suddenly appeared. Bai Yuxian killed a lucky day. Zheng Neian didn't expect it to be so fast, and she killed it at the beginning, and sure enough, the hang-up operation was different. Then several pop-ups appeared one after another. Bai Yuxian killed Jianfen. Bai Yuxian killed Li Ruijun. Bai Yuxian killed Fried Chicken is True Love. Bai Yuxian killed Jin Heyu. Bai Yuxian killed Not How to Die. Bai Yuxian killed The Strongest Jianju. Looking at the names of the dead players, Zheng Neian was stunned. What the hell was Bai Yuxian doing? At this time, another player named Slime Monster was killed, fatally wounded in the chest. Beak Yuxian suspected that he was the last survivor of this generation, because now he couldn't feel the breath of other players. But what he didn't expect was that he would bump into 4 people at the same time when he came down. But for him, it's just a few more tricks. He usually easily sends them away together when he chops melons and vegetables, and his teammates must die neatly. Now that the looting is over, go out slowly. But at this moment, he received a distress message from Zheng Neian. Bai Yuxian helped me. There were too many enemies here, and I was completely surrounded. Bai Yuxian looked at the shared map, and it turned out that the block opposite was quite far away. But he still said that it is now. Where are you in the building? I'm on the roof of the 3rd floor, but now the sound of the fight downstairs is not a joke. It seems that every floor is fighting. You have to be careful. Bai Yuxian met 2 people as soon as he went downstairs, which surprised the 2 of them. Hey, what's that bastard in the back? Why it was so fast, it made them very incomprehensible, and one of them was also decisive, and immediately ordered his companions to prepare their abilities, and he found a way to fight first. But before he finished speaking, Bai Yuxian had already sent him to die and cut off one of his arms. At this time, a pop-up window came out. Bai Yuxian killed the tiger, and the player next to him looked incredulous. No, what is this? The physical enhanced type is also an addition to the agility type, and I saw a purple-black mist coming out of his hands. Randomly press at the ground, go to death. The purple-black mist forms a spike of more than 10 meters on the ground. Seeing the attack coming, Bai Yuxian jumped into the air, looking like he was going to do a backflip. The moment he landed, he had already killed the man. The man didn't expect him to calculate to such an extent. After Bai Yuxian killed the baby Tyrannosaurus Rex and solved the 2, Bai Yuxian started trotting without stopping, and Zheng Neian was still waiting for him. Soon the next unlucky egg was born, a short-haired yellow hare who asked me to eat fried chicken. He soon came to Zheng Neian's building. Zheng Neian didn't expect him to ask him if he needed support so quickly, and Bai Yuxian asked him to wait there first. He grabbed the door lock. Perceiving the number of people inside, it seems that there are 5 people inside. As soon as he opened the door, he hid behind the door with a weapon and waited. Seeing Bai Yuxian come in, he immediately showed a perverted smile. Then he slashed down without hesitation, go to death, but was grabbed by Bai Yuxian, who came first. This surprised him. Then he felt like he had been hit by a truck, and the punch directly killed him. But Bai Yuxian seemed a little dissatisfied, and it seemed that he had to raise the speed again. Then he jumped a few times and rushed upstairs. Another bunch of pop-ups appeared, and he killed 4 more people in one go. Zheng Neian was stunned on the roof, and came again. This guy is really fierce. He is completely weak. But the next second she was shocked. The weapon in his hand swept out without hesitation, accompanied by a trace of electricity. It turned out that Beak Wuhaian had arrived, and of course Zheng Neian's attack was easily dodged by him. What? I was shocked. Until I came to the side, I realized that this was completely the rhythm of one person taking 14 kills, and Zheng Neian at this time was completely different from usual, holding a sizzling chainsaw in her hand like a devil. Bai Yuxian also saw her for the first time, and felt that it didn't matter if he didn't come. Zheng Neian smiled awkwardly, and there was only this device nearby. Then she changed the topic. Have all the enemies in this building been cleaned up? She was a little swollen with a weapon in her hand, and she said without shame that she would bring Bai Yuxian to fly for the rest of the game. In the end, the 2 ended the survival 2-player game with the result of first place. Then they played 10 more times. Each time the game ends in first place. At this time, Zheng Neian was already tired of being a dog. She didn't expect to really win 10 consecutive victories, and she really didn't have the strength to rebroadcast today, so she could only end here. But the way she looked at Bai Yuxian was very wrong. She thought it was just an ordinary college student friend, but she didn't expect it to be a crazy murder weapon in the world. No matter what, she had to pull Bai Yuxian into the live broadcast circle. Bai Yuxian didn't know what she was thinking. At this time, Zheng Neian began to pretend again. Poor, can you not take on the main task even for 2 days? I will come up with a decent live broadcast plan during this period. Bai Yuxian said that he was not interested, and he didn't plan to do any main tasks or anything like that. Zheng Neian is worthy of Zheng Neian, and began began to make her own decisions again. In short, you listen first. I will come back very fully prepared, then see you later. She will go down when she says it, and she will not give Bai Yuxian a chance to refuse again. Only Bai Yuxian, who was speechless, was still disappointed this time. As a result, I couldn't get a clue in PvP. At this time, Jiang Suli was lying comfortably on the bed and swiping her mobile phone. She was watching the forum content of the Reversal Planet, which must be about Bai Yuxian and her. Looking at her, she jumped up on the bed, smiling in her mouth. Making a fortune is amazing. There are 100,000 viewers. Will there be such a thing in my anchor career? It would be nice if she could always live broadcast with Yuxian God. She felt that she should have stalked a little more just now, but she doesn't remember Bai Yuxian making it clear that he was not interested in live broadcasting. No, he was too resolute from the beginning. But now the most important thing is to figure out the settlement first. First to see how much money has been received. But then her eyes widened. This is. The next day, Zheng Neian asked Bai Yuxian out again, and also took a laptop, by the way. Bai Yuxian seemed a little absent-minded, and suddenly called me out, thinking what was going on. I saw a few drops of cold sweat on Bai Yuxian's head. What the hell is this? I saw a cute blue cat on the screen. What else could it be? This is a PPT to persuade you to stay up late to prepare. Bai Yuxian was really speechless when he got home, and it was this word that he stayed up late to prepare. Yuxian, you didn't say that if you don't need to interact with the audience, it doesn't matter if you just play the live broadcast of your own game. Bai Yuxian doesn't remember saying it, but Zheng Neian directly turned on the self-output mode. So what is the form of observational variety shows? Bai Yuxian obviously doesn't know much about observational variety shows. Observational variety shows are a form of program in which multiple performers gather in the studio to watch the videos of other performers. The game is up to you, and I do the interaction if you feel that I'm not enough alone. You can also invite professional commentators. I will share 60% of the income with you. How about I take 40%? This condition is not bad. They all said that they are not interested. It is not that you don't seem to know much about the income of live broadcasting, no. Didn't you receive the settlement money from Suli God this time? Bai Yuxian heard this and remembered that he did receive an email in the morning, because Zheng Neian was also in a hurry to come out and had not had time to confirm. He clicked on the subject of the email, and it turned out to be Yuxian Great. To explain to you the first settlement money, the sender Jiang Suli took the initiative to share 6 million won with him in a live broadcast. Zheng Neian was envious when she saw this. How much? 6 million. Seeing this amount, you don't have any idea of doing a live broadcast. What bothers him most is that there is a message. But in the next second, Bai Yuxian's face changed drastically. These messages are all sent by a person named Anonymous Viewer 62. Hello, Mr. Yuxian. It's nice to see you again. How does it feel to return to reality? A new special mission has been prepared for you. We will meet in the live broadcast in the future. There is a lot of money under each message. Bai Yuxian is really not calm. The number 62 is unforgettable for him. He knows that I came back from there. Plus, this nickname is like targeting him as test subject number 62. Who Bai Yuxian stood up suddenly, who knew that I was coming back from there. He looked at Zheng Neian. Can he find out the information of the sponsor? Zheng Neian was a little confused and suddenly asked why this. Because of privacy protection, in principle, it is impossible. Bai Yuxian stared at the mobile phone, and it was impossible to send a private message to the other party first. It should only be possible to communicate in the real-time live broadcast. And then he expressed his agreement with Jung Nayeon's proposal that he would do a live broadcast. This happiness came a little suddenly, and Zheng Neian confirmed a little unconfidently. Really? You are not allowed to regret it in the future. Immediately he issued a communique. The plug-in God starred in the personal live broadcast at 7 p.m. on August 2, 2041, and the official content will be presented here, starring plug-in God, Cha Seuncheol, Zheng Nayeon. Friday evenings are beautiful, and people enjoy their leisure time with their own expectations. And those who call themselves game nerds are all gathered in front of the computer wholeheartedly. At this time, what they are most concerned about is the linkage live broadcast of Bai Yuxian's three-person castle. But who is Zheng Neian? But there are still people who know about it, and they are said to be friends who are worried about it. At this time, someone had already ordered fried chicken and was waiting for the live broadcast of the game. 5 minutes before the start of the game, Zheng Neian was very unpromising in the broadcast studio, and she was so nervous that she trembled. The car is not bad, and he comforted her not to worry too much. She was well prepared and would not go wrong. Chi Cheng is a professional commentator on reversing planets. In order to relieve the embarrassment, he touched his head, but he didn't expect that in addition to Miss Su Li, there was someone who could invite Cheng Ji. And the reason why he agreed so readily was because Zheng Endorser said that he was Bai Yuxian's friend. The live stream goes straight to the countdown. At this time, Zheng Neian has been adjusted. Hello everyone, I am Zheng Neian. I am very happy to see you, dear audience. I am Cha Seuncheol. Soon some netizens cheered. The door opened. Where is the hanging god? And hand over the hanging god. A trace of cold sweat appeared on Zheng Neian's face. It seemed that many people were panicked because they didn't see the hanging god at the beginning, but it was still too early to be disappointed, and the hanging god was already in the game. Immediately, the screen cut to the game, and Bai Yuxian had turned on the personal information protection mode. The live broadcast room suddenly boiled. It was a hanging mine, and all the plus signs that were said to be the title party were blocked. Why is he so handsome when he turns the short sword? I am so excited now, trembling. As you can see, the content of the hanging god Light Guangyuan will be carried out in the form of observing variety shows. While watching the operation of the hanging god while commenting and explaining, everyone should be curious about how the hanging god will play RP, so officially confirm. Immediately, Yong Nayeon, connected to Beek Wuhaian, started, the otherworldly administration reported. Please rescue the survivors so that they can safely withdraw from the forest and join us. Immediately, a pop-up window appears, and the main mission meets with the otherworld administration, avoiding the guards who are searching to capture escaped test subjects, and meeting with the otherworld administration located on the outskirts of the forest. This Bai Yuxian is familiar to him, just like then. In that world, just running for your life has done your best. This time, then he roared. This naturally attracted the attention of the guards, who attacked from 3 sides over there. It seemed that Bai Yuxian did it on purpose, and he wanted to avenge the undead. 3 people facing the ground, the 2 of them in the air. Bai Yuxian had already put his hands on the chains. He had only one goal, and that was to kill them all. This is the last wish of his companions. Randomly, 2 people on the other side fired with machine guns. Bai Yuxian dodged while dancing the chains, accurately hit a machine gun, and the cold weapon won the first round, and the guards were shocked to see this. Then he was engulfed in the sound of the explosion. Bai Yuxian dodged and jumped in. The air guards were happy to see this, and the fools sent him to the door by himself, go to death. But Bai Yuxian was not idle in his hand, and threw the chain out. What the 2 guards didn't notice was that the chains had gone around their backs. After turning a circle, tie a knot, I saw Bai Yuxian pulling his hands hard. The 2 collided with each other in an instant. Bai Yuxian quickly moved the chain. The 2 of them had a close contact with the ground. Then a mouthful of blood gushed out. Kaizukun descended from the sky to send them on their last journey. It turned out that he had already entered the perfect mode of existence. At this time, he was mysterious and powerful. Zheng Nayan's mouth was so open that it almost fell to the ground. This is not the RP I know. Chi Cheng was also shocked. I explained that RP is the first time I have seen this kind of gameplay in such a long time. Without any strategic considerations, directly lure all the enemies over. Or netizens understand Bai Yuxian. The existence of hanging gods itself is a strategy. Too lazy to look for it. Let the enemy come over. Isn't this common sense? Thinking that it will only kill the monsters it meets. I am reflecting. I saw the sudden yelling and thought I was crazy. I was shocked when I was watching something else. Netizens who love cats even rewarded 50,000 yuan, saying that the perfect existence is too lazy, and there is no cooldown time for any skills. Zheng Nayan turned her head to look at Cha Cheng's. Perfect existence is too lazy. What do you think of this opinion? I can assert that it is by no means so. Most skills have an inherent cooldown, and that's why. Hanging God's style of play, which doesn't rely on cooldowns and directly uses core moves, may look a lot like cheating, but the perfect existence only increases the physical ability and will not improve the combat IQ or weapon proficiency. And even the hanging god is still in no auxiliary mode, which means that as long as the physical fitness can keep up, the hanging god can also fight like that in reality. That is to say, it is precisely because the hanging god is using it. The perfect existence can play that kind of performance. At this moment, a voice came into Bai Yuxian's ears and surrounded him, directly pointed at him with the muzzle of 4 black holes. At this time, the leader spoke and said that we are from the Otherworld Administration, and obediently put down his weapons and surrendered. His name is Jin Ji, the leader of the Otherworld Administration. The so-called Otherworldly Administration is a government department that sweeps away individuals invading through portals, mainly responsible for bringing dangerous, invading individuals, imprisoned in a resource-chaotic world of inversion to sweep up. Bai Yuxian raised his hands. Director Jin Ji. No, it should be the team leader at this point in time. I didn't expect to see him here. Jin Ji also noticed that the clothes Beek Wuhaian was wearing turned out to be a victim who escaped from the research institute, sorry for the rudeness, and retreated, and Beek Wuhaian said it didn't matter. But the walkie-talkie, Bai Yuxian said that it was given to him by an important person in the research institute. Jin Ji's face was a little sad. It seemed that he had sacrificed, and team leader Jin Ji was as human as over there. Then please stay in the Otherworld Administration before the identity is confirmed, because sometimes there are cases where the relevant personnel of the institute pretend to be victims, and then he asked the team members to retreat. At this time, the sound of the machine sounded. The main mission met with the Otherworld Administration and completed the level increase to get 1 ability point. The picture turned, and the headquarters of the Alien Administration. Bai Yuxian sat in the consultation room of the Alien Administration, and he didn't expect to come here after escaping from the laboratory in that world. He raised revenge funds while solving the commission of the enterprise, although there were also assassinations and kidnappings in the commission. But the largest proportion is the Reversal World Crusade. The company launches a Reversal World sweep for the spoils of war, and once it feels that the loot is useless, it pushes the aftermath work to him, so that it naturally has to be related to the alien administration. Although there has been experience of cooperative crusades, there have been several times when swords have been drawn due to conflicts. At this moment, the sound of a pair of high heels sounded. "Hello, Mr. Bayuxian. I am Li Yuzhen, a group of important members of the alien administration, and I saw a beautiful woman appearing in the live broadcast room and became active again, and Sister Yuzhen was indeed the top 3 beauty in RP. Hello, Li Yuzhen." Li Yuzhen pulled a stool and sat down and worked hard all the way. Now there are 2 choices in front of Mr. Wu Haiyan. The first is to accept the protection of the Otherworld administration and live as a civilian, in which case it is strictly forbidden to use supernatural abilities, and the second is to become an important member of the Otherworld administration. Of course, choosing the latter does not mean that you can immediately act as a formal person, and you must receive appropriate training and judge that you are ready before you can enter into actual combat. Bayuxian didn't say a word. In that world, he even killed the important members of the alien administration, but now he has to become a companion. At this time, Li Yuzhen's voice sounded again. "So which side do you want to choose between civilians and dignitaries?" Bayuxian looked a little nervous. Bayuxian thought about it. If he chose a civilian, he would accept the entrustment of the enterprise like over there. He didn't want to take that path here, and he was also very curious about the internal situation of the alien administration, so he chose to be an agent of the alien administration without hesitation. Li Yuzhen is very satisfied with Bayuxian's choice, thinking, well, it will be of great help to have Mr. Yuxian join. Recently, companies have always poached awakened people, resulting in a very shortage of manpower. Li Yuzhen was also helpless. After all, there were very few people who could refuse high salaries, and he didn't say this because he was an agent of the Bureau. But I heard that many people regretted signing contracts with companies because they were just starting to get started. The experience of training awakened people is obviously insufficient, and many times they are not even responsible for accidents that occur during training. The Otherworldly Authority, on the other hand, is a group with a long history and has extensive experience in cultivating awoken people and crusading against inverted worlds. But Bai Yuxian is not stupid Bai Tian. He knows much more than Yuzhen, and sure enough, the remuneration is indeed better on the side of the company. But there are also a lot of corresponding dangerous jobs, and there are also many awakened people over there who lost their lives when executing the entrustment of the enterprise. There are even companies that put on a posture of asking for money and not giving money, although in the end, he really put aside their steps to get the money. It was also because of that incident that his identity as a non-registered awakened person was tracked by the alien administration for a while, so he had seen Director Jin Ji at that time. Li Yuzhen said that she would now apply to the computer team for Bai Yuxian's awakened registration, and then she pushed Bai Yuxian a mobile phone, saying that it was for work. Bai Yuxian looked at his mobile phone. So what should I do next? Just like I said that I will be trained as an intern first, and then promoted after the strength is verified, and the team will be decided at that time. But Li Yuzhen has his own plans. Since they are going to be divided into teams, it would be nice if they could come to the same group as him. Bai Yuxian's emotional intelligence is still online, and I really hope so. After all, I still owe favors. Although there were many conflicts afterwards, it was conveyed to the innocent victims who were imprisoned in the institute, and it was Li Yuzhen who was broadcast at that time. Thanks to Li Yuzhen leading the attack on the institute, he and his companions were able to survive, and the two quickly agreed. At this time, Zheng Neian outside the game was not calm. Wait a moment. Don't you think it's a bit strange? It's too natural for us to talk to NPCs. In her impression, aren't NPCs unable to communicate? She had reason to suspect that there was a change of route in the middle, and the Li Yuzhen she saw was obviously like this. I can't believe it, although I guessed it. It was really a completely corresponding type. Chi Cheng was so excited that he trembled. Netizens saw that it was not much better. Reverse Planet is really a masterpiece. No, this can actually work. What is the completely corresponding AI? The so-called fully corresponding AI is an artificial intelligence that can fully respond to any situation or request, and NPCs can communicate freely unlike existing NPCs. Because it is an extremely resource-consuming technology, although the industry generally believes that it cannot be installed in online games, is it a perfect solution to the resource problem? It should not. If that's the case, there is no reason to hide it as an Easter egg like now, and it has long been overwhelmingly covered with advertising headlines, and it must be written that Reverse Planet can talk to NPC. Reverse Planet is equipped with fully corresponding AI technology for the world premiere. It is impossible to do so. Reverse Planet fully corresponding AI. I'm afraid it's set to only apply the technology when certain conditions are met, and the minimum condition is probably no modifier. From the beginning, after all, all, the difference between Nuclear Seat and other players is that the combat modifier is set to 0%. Zheng Nayan seems to have never seen the world. Wow, Beek Wu Haiyan, you guy is really in short. There will be trouble everywhere in the forum, yes. What statement will planet Earth make? I think I will be looking forward to it and can't sleep. The two are also very tacitly coordinated. And since he is very interested in the plot of Reverse Money, he will definitely be interested in this situation. And maybe he can invite a big man as a guest. Having said that, although it's a pity you said that the plot agreed today, the live broadcast is here, right? Yes. Please look forward to the next live broadcast for the follow-up content. And now we are going to move to the PvP link. Netizens are not happy. Don't break it at this time. When will the next live broadcast be? At this time, in the battle preparation room, Bayuxian was ready, and he had been waiting for the appearance of Anonymous Spectator 62. He specifically told Zheng Nayan that if someone with an ID is an Anonymous Viewer 62 to tip or leave a message, tell him immediately, no matter what he is doing. Zheng Nayan doesn't know why, but she still agreed. But Zheng Nayan didn't contact him. He felt that he had to broadcast for a while. At this time, he sent a message to Zheng Nayan, ready. Then continue PvP. Today's link is Duel. By the way, today is the first time that Nuclear Weapons has played the Showdown mode. Then we should start from the Ordinary League. For those who don't know, there are a total of 8 ranks in Reverse Planet. Bronze, Silver, Gold, Platinum, Diamond, Master, Grandmaster, Challengers, and in order to get to the Bronze rank, they must have 10 wins in the regular league. According to statistics, it takes an average of 30 minutes for professional players and 2 hours for ordinary players. Netizens began to check themselves. Damn it, I was actually below average. There are a lot of fish fry trumpets in this game, and matching luck is also very important. The reward is 500,000 won after completing the mission to Bronze within 30 minutes. Zheng Nayan's eyes straightened when she heard this. She immediately sent Bayuxian a message. Hey, Big Hair mission. 10 consecutive victories within 30 minutes of receiving the first task. Is it possible? Bayuxian made an okay gesture. Is this self-confidence to treat professional players as parallel goods? Hee, is this simply arrogance? Hurry up, go, go, go. This has become very exciting. Okay, whether the Nuclear Seat can succeed in the challenge, please wait until the end. But then Bayuxian will give them a big surprise. PvP duel mode, normal single matching is successful. The 6th area, residential area. There are 10 seconds left before the start of the first round. The next second, Chi Cheng was shocked. I saw Bayuxian take out a weapon he had never seen before. This can make his opponent happy. Is it a melee-only build? As long as the distance is not closed, it is simply a victory in vain. Obviously, they all underestimate Bayuxian, a nuclear weapon. As the countdown ends, the first round officially begins. The opponent directly uses ranged attack Cold Air Blast. But the next second, a blood appeared on his body. Because Bayuxian has already made a move, the poor opponent was directly split in half. At the end of the first round, the winner, Bayuxian the loser, Anonymous the current record, Bayuxian 1-0 Anonymous. Then the next round will follow. To say that this Anonymous player is also unlucky, he actually met Bayuxian again, and met the fried fish dog again and surrendered. Due to the Anonymous surrender, the duel ended. The winner Bayuxian and the loser Anonymous. Next is the second game. Bayuxian slashed out with a sword, and the opponent's attack was directly cut off. The other party only had time to collect my shadow spear, and his body was split in half like the first one. It can only be said that Bayuxian is still too strong, and it is all a one-shot kill. Current record White Feather String 2-0 Pineapple Bun. Winner White Feather String, loser Pineapple. Next is the third game. This guy was all practicing Taekwondo, and as soon as he came up, he jumped high and the door was wide open. How could Bayuxian let go of such a good opportunity? A killing line was opened directly on him. The guinea pig eating hay can't die anymore, and the fourth round is as usual. In this way, Bayuxian quickly harvested his opponent. Soon he won 10 consecutive victories in just 20 minutes. Jung Nayeon and Cha Seunchial were stunned. At this time, Bayuxian's rank was also promoted to Bronze Ordinary. Zheng Nayan is even more stuck. After all, he is a Diamond rank. But in front of Bayuxian, it is not enough to see. What should I say about it? There is a sense of relative deprivation, and the driver did not expect to win 10 consecutive victories in 20 minutes. Netizens were also greatly shocked. What the hell is this? Directly breaking the record of professional players. In one word, it is GOAT. Although the time is also outrageous. What is even more amazing is the game record. Usually, if you encounter a build with incompatible attributes or a risky build, the competitive state will fluctuate. I think the fire genre is difficult to deal with, but no matter what the opponent comes up with, the nuclear weapon seat will come up with no matter what build. The whole game showed a perfect performance without ups and downs. It's a quick decision. Pinecone netizens even sponsored 500,000 won. No, how did this happen? Zheng Nayan immediately became excited when she saw that she was rich, and thanked Songguo netizens for their sponsorship. It's exciting to see what the next qualifying session will show. Me too, but to be honest, I'm a little worried what's wrong. After all, it was a live broadcast. Sniping should be easy. It It turned out that he was worried about Bai Yuxian, but even so, the probability of successful sniping was not high. He hoped that he was worried about it, and he just finished speaking. A pop-up window will appear in PvP dual mode, and the ranking unit is successfully matched. Area 11, Public Cemetery. The source became Bai Yuxian was stunned. Unexpectedly, as soon as Huang Mao appeared, he began to swear a lot. This cheeky ex-cub finally met, optimistic about the big brothers, and the wall-hanging education class started now. Netizens also began to express their opinions. Could it be that the first ranking was sniped? No, how to be a real master, and said that people are hanging on the wall. Do you see it? This is the average level of snipers. Game companies have said no, who are still shouting about hanging walls. Bai Yuxian held his hand on the hilt of his sword. Cha Cheng's laughed when he saw this. The nuclear seat did not hit his provocation. Zhang Neian immediately answered, because I had ordered it. If you encounter this situation, ignore it, and there is more. Then the first round officially began. The man immediately released the power of the elements, and the electric current crackled all over his body. With a whoosh, he rushed towards Bai Yuxian, drawing a golden arc in the air. Go to death, you hang on the wall, but the fists he blasted were easily dodged by Bai Yuxian, and he didn't hit them at all. Hehe, said good education, but he was played as a monkey who is being educated. It's really ugly. He is full of confidence and wants to watch it for a while. At this moment, Bai Yuxian drew his sword. Just a simple slash. It was a waste of time to hit Huang Mao's abdomen directly. At the end of the first round, the winner was, of course, Bai Yuxian, but Huang Mao owes when he is going to die, hanging on the wall like a monster. Then the next round will follow. There are 10 seconds in between to prepare. Huang Mao is still ashamed. He feels that he has lost someone and he will lose again, so it seems that he can only use that. With the official start of the second round, Huang Mao discharged again. Bai Yuxian was a little confused and always felt that the atmosphere was sharper and heavier than just now. This time Huang Mao has grown, and his movements are extremely efficient, just like Edinal, but his attack was still too weak, and the sword couldn't hit Bai Yuxian. Huang Mao's expression became hideous. Do you understand now? You bastard let you in the first round, and the words just fell. Countless fists fell on Bai Yuxian, and he was beaten like a sandbag. Bai Yuxian felt that there was nothing wrong just now. Did the plugin originally mean this? I remembered. But even if you encounter those who scold you for deliberately provoking, you must destroy them as completely as possible. He said so. But how terrible are these words coming out of Zhang Neian's mouth? Then Bai Yuxian entered the perfect mode of existence. He exuded a deep ghostly aura, and Huang Mao saw a few drops of cold sweat. What's the situation? The atmosphere is sudden. But he warns himself that there is no need to be afraid, no matter how you look at it. He has an absolute advantage. Then he took the initiative to attack. Don't pretend there, hang on the wall. But in the next second, Bai Yuxian disappeared in place, directly slashed out with a sword. Passed by Huang Mao. Huang Mao sprayed out a mouthful of blood. This bastard. But in the next second, Bai Yuxian appeared beside him again. A sword slashed directly on his arm, and Huang Mao let out a miserable howl. Raise your other fist and chop, bastard. But Bai Yuxian's name of the murder weapon in the world was not blown, and he directly swung his sword to slash his punch. Huang Mao cried directly when he saw this, and how could he play with both hands? Zhang Neian and Qi Cheng didn't know what to say. He seemed to deliberately not give the final blow right. Obviously, there were many opportunities. It seems that this is true, and the God operation really listens to Miss Neian's advice. Zhang Neian felt a little guilty when she heard this, although I said that I would completely crush him. The live broadcast room also exploded at this time. The monster created by Zhang Neian trembled. A terrifying woman anyway. It was because of Zhang Neian's suggestion that it was like that. What advice would be given next time? Only fear. Huang Mao was indeed afraid. Damn it, who the hell are you? Bai Yuxian pointed his sword at him. Return what you just said as it is. Then he gave him a good time. After the second round ended, Bai Yuxian continued to face off with a breakthrough momentum, breaking through 30 consecutive victories in one go. Zhang Neian and the others were a little stunned. They had already reached the golden rank, and they fainted, but they didn't expect to set a record of 30 consecutive wins in the premiere. I really don't dare to breathe when I see me. Is this the so-called fried fish? What do you eat to grow up to become like that? Please tell me build. Zhang Neian is not easy to answer this question, public build. Although ordinary people will be more taboo, but why don't I ask? Then he sent a message to Bai Yuxian. Yuxian, can you make this build public? If you don't want to, you can refuse. Unexpectedly, Bai Yuxian agreed directly. Zhang Neian suddenly became excited. Everyone, the God operation said that the build will be made public, and I will organize and upload it to the community after the live broadcast. Netizens didn't expect happiness to come so suddenly, really. If you want to make the build public, I will ask casually, and it has really become a public build. Isn't it a very sensitive thing? It can only be said that Bai Yuxian is very confident. Then Zhang Neian and the two bowed deeply. So we will see you in the next live broadcast. Thank you for watching for a long time. After the broadcast, Cha Xunqiao also became excited and completely coped with AI. 30 consecutive wins are even publicly built, and all major communities are going to fry the pot. If this continues, it won't set a new new record. How many tens of thousands of wins is the highest winning streak now? Zheng Naian sees that it is countless money, and the current highest winning streak in the duel is the 76 consecutive wins of the battle player, which is the record he set when he practiced the trumpet. In short, I hope that Yuxian can set a new record, and if it is Yuxian, he will definitely feel the same way. And if it is a battle known for its competitive spirit, it may be watching God operate now, as they expected. At this time, the game forum has exploded, and what is even more unexpected is that it has exploded. Huang Mao was reported and permanently banned from the net. Another message caught the attention of one person. Even if the battler comes, you can't win. And the person who browsed this message was Battler himself, and he thought it was so interesting. A few days later, the second live broadcast officially began, and the anonymous viewer 62 finally did not appear in the last live broadcast, and Bai Yuxian fell into deep thought. Is there anything shortcoming? At this moment, Li Yuzhen waved to him. Here, today she was wearing a very sexy dress, black silk and uniform. Netizens have peach hearts in their eyes across the screen, which is worthy of the beauty of the top 3 popularity of the reversal planet, which is really beautiful. Isn't the first actual combat mission nervous? But everyone who knows Bai Yuxian knows that he asked the wrong person this question, although the actual battle is faster than imagined, but it is completely pediatric for Bai Yuxian. And as soon as he logged into the game, a new mission window popped up, and the first actual combat mission was issued. Please change into a combat suit and meet Li Yuzhen at the predetermined location. Bai Yuxian felt that this was good to be able to pry through the training. But what was the actual combat mission this time? Li Yuzhen told him to completely sweep away the invading individuals inside the reversal planet and enclose the space. After all, they received reports that they could be exposed, and this time it was also a place where companies abandoned it, because sometimes it was helpful for the sweep, although they would acquiesce and wait and see. But if they felt that it was not good, they would make a mess and leave it alone. Li Yuzhen also hates these companies that are not profitable and cannot afford to do early, and Bai Yuxian deeply agrees with this. And sure enough, those guys in the company do the same things everywhere. Having said that, insect-type aggressive individuals have a low risk evaluation level, and they are obviously very weak but have a large number, and they are very troublesome guys to deal with in groups. As soon as the two arrived at the door, the soldiers began to salute loyalty. I am Sergeant Park Jaisiop, and the two are the awakened people of the Otherworld administration. Li Yuzhen immediately took out her documents. Yes, she had been working hard to confirm and just go inside, and the two soldiers were also very emotional. It was the first time they saw a portal in an abandoned factory. Bai Yuxian and Li Yuzhen came to the portal, but Bai Yuxian always felt a little familiar. It turned out that this was a place that had been seen in the world over there, but it was definitely not small but medium-sized at that time. Is there something wrong? Just as they were about to enter, a dog bark sounded. Oh, who is this? Our senior Li Yuzhen. Why did you run to a small suite? This unruly guy is called Kui Hyungcheol, and he is an awakened person belonging to Jin Electronics. Li Yuzhen was also a little surprised. Kui Hyungcheol, why? I'm shocked, okay. I didn't expect it to coincide with the tasks of my predecessors. Li Yuzhen didn't want to see them. She was so determined when she didn't do it, and now she is doing the task again should there be some ghost abacus. What kind of ghost abacus to say? It's really sad. Then he looked at Bai Yuxian. Is this a new junior? Then he got closer to Bai Yuxian. Don't suffer that crime in the management bureau. How about coming to the enterprise? Li Yuzhen wanted to beat him out when he heard this. And Mr. Kui Hyungcheol, please don't cross the line again. Kui Hyungcheol raised his hands exaggeratedly, took a few steps back, knowing, strange, and scary. I will give you the territory here, senior. You can deal with it. It's hard work. Bai Yuxian asked who the other party was. Li Yuzhen pressed it on her face. She was the first trainee I brought. She felt that she was going to have hypoglycemia. This bastard accepted poaching from the company, and after leaving, she began to spread malicious rumors about the administration. Then she took out a fruit candy. Do you want to eat it? Chi Cheng was also very surprised. The relationship between Li Yuzhen and Kui Hyungcheol was shown in such detail, and it was also the first time for me, and I saw that it was originally vague with bad things that had happened. Affected by completely coping love, it is providing a more in-depth plot. Some netizens think that if it can really come out of the hidden plot, it will be divine. If it is a planet, maybe there is really something hidden. Li Yuzhen calmed down her mood, and the depressed topic ended here. Let's go in. Bai Yuxian expressed his understanding of this. With a burst of energy fluctuations, Kui Hyungcheol and the others immediately had evil intentions, and it seemed that they had gone in. Kui Hyungcheol licked his tongue. Then let's start working too. Beek Wu Hyan and Li Wujin just entered the portal. Then there was another portal. Li Yuzhen said that this was the passage to the reversal planet, and you could enter the reverse planet through the portal on the opposite side. I see, it's the same as the world over there. But the next second an incident occurred, and the portal became unstable. Bai Yuxian suspected that it was a sudden chain. Li Yuzhen turned her head and shouted at him, Junior, be careful, and then Li Yuzhen disappeared. Bai Yuxian was teleported teleported to a deep forest, and it seemed that he was separated from Li Yuzhen. He was not panicked about this. After all, it was common for the passage to collapse due to external shocks, and then he held the dagger. After all, there were several spiders in front of him. First of all, you have to deal with these guys first, and then go to Li Yuzhen. This was the first time Li Yuzhen showed his abilities, only to see golden lightning emanating from his hands. Then he slashed down with a palm, spreading thunder, and the spider in front of him fell into bad luck. His body was directly cut off by the lightning, and he almost turned into a roasted spider. But Li Yuzhen didn't feel good, and the plane consumed a lot of money on him. The main reason is that there are too many spiders in front of me, and I can't kill them all no matter how I kill them. And the scale of this forest feels closer to the medium-sized inverted world than the small one. There was indeed something strange in it. She took a breath, just hoping that Bai Yuxian would be safe. But what she didn't notice was that Kui Hyungcheol had already appeared behind her. Li Yuzhen was shocked, but Kui Hyungcheol still succeeded in the sneak attack and slashed directly at her abdomen, and Li Yuzhen let out a cry of pain. The backhand was a thunder arc knife, but it was dodged by Kui Hyungcheol, and Li Yuzhen couldn't figure out how Kui Hyungcheol could sneak attack her. Kui Hyungcheol, why? Kui Hyungcheol laughed. Who knows? It should be said that I am on a secret mission, and I am just acting on orders. Don't hate me too much. Then his accomplices also appeared, and Li Yuzhen knew that now was not the time to talk nonsense. The wound is too deep, and you have to escape from here first. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'll die here. Then she chose a direction. Throw the guardian stone. Suddenly transforms into a boulder at the moment of approaching the target. With a loud bang, the guardian stone exploded, and the unlucky Choi Hyungcheol accomplice spat out a mouthful of blood. Then it smashed heavily on the ground, and Li Yuzhen took the opportunity to escape from him. But Kui Hyungcheol was originally here to kill her. How could he let her go? So he cursed, "That fool couldn't even stop anyone. Chase me." Li Yuzhen was like a wild horse that had escaped from the reins and rushed far away with a whoosh. He put his hands together and used his ability again. Then a golden thunder spear appeared. He turned over with a beard, threw the thunder spear at Kui Hyungcheol and the others. With a loud bang, several people had to stop to resist Kui Hyungcheol, and they were immediately furious, scolding their companion for a bloody head. "You waste. What are you doing if you don't stop her?" Li Yuzhen seized the time to escape, and by the way, she looked for a place to hide around. Soon a hole in the ground caught her attention. Then Kui Hyungcheol and the three of them lost their traces. Damn it. It was all because of you that they lost it. They went to the front first to continue searching, but what they didn't know was that Li Yuzhen was hiding behind them, and a few people had just left. Li Yuzhen crawled out. If there was no centipede nest, something big would have happened. Then again, the secret mission. What the hell is the company planning? At this time, Bai Yuxian had already solved all the monsters he saw. Netizens like him like this, they are all killed in seconds, and he has killed dozens of them. Then he came to the place where Li Yuzhen had an accident, and he clearly felt Li Yuzhen's breath here, but there were only messy footprints on the ground. It seems that something is wrong, but the next second he heard Li Yuzhen's voice. Bai Yuxian ran wildly in the forest. When he arrived, he saw Li Yuzhen entangled in a huge centipede. Netizens also pinched a cold sweat for Li Yuzhen, but they didn't expect her to be suppressed by insects. The next second, Bai Yuxian made a move, and at this time he entered the perfect existence mode again, holding the dagger with one hand and the palm of the other hand against the handle of the dagger. The moment he passed by the giant centipede separated from its head and body. Li Yuzhen fell down, and Bai Yuxian teleported to her below. A princess hugged her and caught her, and this set of operations was done in one go. Bai Yuxian put Li Yuzhen on the ground, asked her to lean against a big tree, and asked with concern, "Are you okay?" Li Yuzhen felt embarrassed, but Bai Yuxian couldn't figure it out. With Li Yuzhen's strength, it was impossible to be injured by this insect, and the wound was very deep. Looking at the wound on Li Yuzhen's body, Bai Yuxian found that it was caused by supernatural abilities, and the awakened person who can do this kind of thing in this case. Bai Yuxian can only think of Kui Hyungcheol. It must be true. It seems that it followed immediately after the mutation occurred. In the live broadcast room, Zheng Neian's inexplicable blush was uncomfortable. Don't you think it's strange? Kui Hyungcheol was supposed to launch a raid a long time later, and netizens also found it strange. It should be a surprise attack when the plot is related to Zero Enterprises. But why did that guy appear so quickly? Something happened, and there was a big deal. Zheng Neian guessed that it was completely corresponding to the influence of AI, and Cha Sungcheol didn't have a good idea. At this stage, he could only speculate like this. It was actually a hidden plot, and it became interesting. Let's continue reading first. Li Yuzhen gasped and told what happened after coming in, although he barely got rid of it. But I didn't know when he would sneak attack again, and once I used the ability, there was a risk of exposing the position. So, Junior, you should escape first. Escape is not Bai Yuxian's character. He asked Li Yuzhen to deal with the emergency first and then hide. He went to deal with those guys and came back. Li Yuzhen was shocked when he heard this, and he didn't go. The marriage promoter is a senior awakener, and you are the only junior. Bai Yuxian asked her to put her heart in her stomach, and he had a plan. It was Kui Hyungcheol who was spinning by the river, and they didn't know where Li Yuzhen was hiding. Qi Hyungcheol made a final decision. Anyway, he couldn't run far with that body, and searched all the way along this canyon. I went down to find the target now. But the next second he was shocked. Without hesitation, he used his ability to slash out, and a flame appeared in the air. Wait a minute, I saw Bai Yuxian breaking out in a cold sweat. You are Li Yuzhen's junior. Bai Yuxian raised his hands and finally held back 3 words, and was saved. Bai Yuxian stammered a little when he spoke. The passage suddenly collapsed. Li Yuzhen and I were separated. What's going on? Netizens were happy to see this. What is this acting skills? I laughed to death, even if I can't see my face. I know that acting skills are definitely GOAT. Hee. Choi Hyungcheol has gone all the way. Qi Hyungcheol patted him on the shoulder with a kind face. It turned out that you still don't know anything. Hee. Do you want to say what's going on? You can see her when you wake up. And Qi Hyungcheol showed a perverted smile as he spoke, and his left hand had released his ability, accompanied by a little blood flower. It was Bai Yuxian who took the lead, and Qi Hyungcheol was stupid. You bastard. He didn't expect anyone to act better than him. Some netizens felt that he lost unjustly. To be honest, this trick is really difficult to prevent. Qi Hyungcheol covered his chest and knelt on the ground, and the 2 companions were shocked. What's wrong? Who am I? Where am I? After a successful move, Bai Yuxian had already hid, and the masked man was very worried. Damn it, you're okay. I'll do first aid and chase that bastard. A companion had already rushed out when he heard the sound. He ran wildly on the ground. Damn it, where did he go? As everyone knows, Bai Yuxian is looking at him from a god's perspective, only to see him squatting on a huge branch. The man ran for a while and didn't find any trace of Bai Yuxian. He shouldn't be able to run far. Where is he? But the next second, Bai Yuxian appeared behind him. What startled me? Is it a bird? When he reacted, Bai Yuxian's dagger was already on his neck, like a ghost. On the other side, the masked man was giving Qi Hyungcheol an emergency rescue. Cheer up. The bleeding has stopped, and he just needs to get treatment when he goes out, but he thinks too much. As soon as he finished speaking, a dagger flew past his ear and pierced Qi Hyungcheol's heart. The angry masked man scolded, "You crazy scum bastard." Now he was the only one left, and Bai Yuxian appeared directly in front of him. The masked man couldn't help but ask, "Where is the companion who went after you?" Bai Yuxian didn't lie, but the 2-handed sword in his hand already said it all. He lifted one of the swords and still said nothing. The masked man remembered that the sword belonged to his companion. I don't know if it was fear or anger, but the masked man directly used his ability. Countless earthen cones shot at Bai Yuxian. "Bastard, I want to kill you." Facing the rainy earthen cone, Bai Yuxian barely dodged with his hands and feet. At this time, the masked man had already killed his red eyes, and he was directly full of firepower, and it was not over yet. I saw him pressing his hands on the ground, and the ground began to rise and fall. This is his stunt. The earth fluctuates. Bai Yuxian ran wildly all the way, faced the enemy's frenzied offensive. The white feather string kicked a giant tree. It is used to slow down the masked man's attack, and it is used to protect himself. Seeing that the masked man had no way to deal with Bai Yuxian like this, he couldn't help but complain. This guy was like a monster, but he still had a trick, and the rock corner was activated. A sharp stone appeared in front of Bai Yuxian. This attack came a little suddenly, and Bai Yuxian could only dodge it rashly. But his reaction was a little slower after all, and this was also the first time he was injured. The broken tree trunk actually scratched his arm, but the next second he rushed towards the masked man. But the masked man was not a vegetarian, and once again released a large number of stone cones, and yelled not to come over. Bai Yuxian turned the direction of the sword. A sword light flashed, and all the stone cones were swept in, and they were instantly slashed and shattered. The sword light flashed. Bai Yuxian had already appeared behind the masked man. This was actually a cross-cutting, and the masked man felt that most of the blood on his body was not his own. His eyes widened in disbelief. How could it be? Immediately the masked man died, and Bai Yuxian completed the 3 kills. Netizens were also terrified. It was too crazy. Absolutely no. This really made me dare not breathe and worship on the spot. Shota is also fierce, relying only on one core element to fight the hound 3-1. Cha Hyungcheol was even more excited to the point of blushing and stars, and netizens also had opinions. A sense of despair, but the first task is a hound. Is this difficult serious, not a joke? I can't close my mouth in shock. Bai Yuxian looked at the wound on his arm, although he killed 2 by raid, but it was only to this extent. Sure enough, it's still far from the world over there, so let me take a look. Immediately he picked up Qi Hyungcheol's mobile phone, and there was a message in it that Li Yuzhen and the target were expected to be sent to reverse the world, try to capture them alive, and if the situation did not allow, they were allowed to be killed on the spot. It turned out that Li Yuzhen was just implicated by him, but after rummaging through the corpses, he didn't find anything special. Was this the only piece of information? Bai Yuxian was a little disappointed, and the investigation should be left to the Bureau. But there is also an unexpected joy, a sharp return of this sword. The first effect slightly increases the cutting power of the blade, and the second effect allows you to return to the thrown hand at any time after being thrown. But this weapon effect is only available in PvE. The second item is the winner's bracelet. The first effect, the power of the ability increases, and the second effect, the cooldown of the ability is reduced, also only for PvE. The third item is the hermit's necklace. The first effect allows you to use silver warehouses, and the second effect allows you to store or take out equipment at any time. And the warehouses are also only available for PvE. Bayuxian didn't expect to be able to directly confirm the effect. It seems that the game is a game after all, and we can only speculate about what the effect is through various experiments. In short, the urgent need has been solved, and we have to hurry up before Li Yuzhen's injury worsens. Clear the reversal planet. At this time, Li Yuzhen was a little desperate, and she felt that she was too unlucky. I actually met the leader individual, the Emperor Scorpion. This luck is too bad, but to come to this kind of place, no, it should be said that it is fortunate if he goes not here but to the junior's side. Without waiting for her to think too much, the Emperor Scorpion had already launched an attack, and only one pincer caught up with several Li Yuzhen, but she couldn't wait to die. Using her ability again, she must solve it here anyway, and the consequences will be left to live. At this time, Li Yuzhen Sasuk possessed him, used Chidori and lightning hissed in the air. But before she could make a move, the Emperor Scorpion slammed to the ground with a bang. Li Yuzhen was stunned. What happened? The Emperor Scorpion died like this. At this time, Bai Yuxian's voice came into her ears. You are fine, but this posture is too handsome. I saw Bai Yuxian carrying a sword on his shoulder. The other foot stepped on the other sword, and the sword body was stuck in the life gate of the Emperor Crab. Li Yuzhen is crazy, senior. Netizens didn't expect Bai Yuxian to be so fierce. That body could still deal with the boss individual, and they had already cleaned up ordinary and elite individuals, and even hit the boss. But at this moment, the sky began to crack, and Bai Yuxian knew that it was the reversal of the world that began to close. He jumped in front of Li Yuzhen. You did it. You really killed the hounds alone. But now is not the time to say this. You have to leave here first. Bai Yuxian said that he wanted to carry Li Yuzhen. Zheng Neian also guessed the reason, because the sweep was completed in a state of collapse of the passage, so it began to close before leaving. Li Yuzhen felt a little embarrassed, but she still let Bai Yuxian carry it, and she did have difficulty moving at this time. Cha Sungqial also expressed his opinion. Yes, so he had to escape before he was involved. Bai Yuxian asked Li Yuzhen to hold on tightly. They soon arrived at the portal. At this time, the system pops up a prompt, and the sweep is complete. Gain 1 ability point, the level is raised, and several pop up at once. The picture turned, and the headquarters of the alien administration. This time Bai Yuxian faced Jin Ji's question. Li Yuzhen was attacked and injured by the corporate awakener. Is this true? That's right. Hearing the affirmative answer, Jin Ji slapped him on the forehead. The guys of big companies still crossed the line after all. So how about those guys? Bai Yuxian's answer was very simple. Killed. Jin Ji was really shocked. Killed? Are you alone? Then he thought of the scene of meeting Bai Yuxian for the first time, and he was relieved about this. Is there anything that can be used as evidence? Beek Wu Haiyan handed over Choi Hyungcheol's mobile phone, which was their mobile phone, and although there were signs of receiving a text message, the rest was encrypted and could not be confirmed. Okay, thanks to you, the investigation will go much smoother. The rest will be left to us. You go to rest. Bai Yuxian heard the words and got up and left, but then Jingjai stopped him again. Although he was a little nosy, he would definitely have a chance in the future, and Bai Yuxian didn't know what he wanted to express. So you have to be patient until then. Do you know what I mean? Bai Yuxian didn't ask why. He just had to follow the instructions. At this time, the system pops up several windows again, and the task is completed for the first time. Level up and gain 1 ability point. Choose the second ability, core element. Wow, a practical mission is finally over. An action blockbuster that is more gorgeous than expected, and the audience and friends should also be satisfied. Let's take a look at the repercussions. If you don't see it, you won't know, and you will be shocked when you see it. It turned out to be an anonymous viewer 62, privately sponsored 3,000,001. Congratulations on clearing the first level. Well, release special missions. Yong Nayeon immediately sent the news to Beek Wu Haiyan. He also said that he would send him a screenshot later. Bai Yuxian looked at the 3 pop-ups, and there was a special task. Saying this, I have said that before. Do you mean to tell me after the broadcast? Beek Wu Haiyan asked Yong Nayeon to help him quickly promote the live broadcast process. Zheng Neian's side is completely okay. Cha Cheng turned his head to look at her. Is there something wrong? No, sorry. Zheng Neian was also a little confused at this time. What, can't you see this sponsorship pop-up? Although it is a private sponsorship, she thinks that she will think about it later, and now she will broadcast it live. Then she laughed, and the response to this live broadcast was also very enthusiastic. Should we continue this momentum and move on to the PvP link? Chi Cheng thinks this idea is great. In the last PvP duel, the micro-operation god set an amazing winning streak, which once became a topic. Yes, so what is the PvP to be carried out today? The 2 sing and the promotion process. Today's PvP is the dispute mode. The strife mode includes occupation wars, escort wars, game wars, and annihilation wars. Random matches in 4 modes, 5v5 fixed numbers, best of 3 team battles. Netizens are not willing to engage in any dispute mode, don't they fight duels? They have been waiting to see the winning streak. Admit it. Is it because you are afraid that your winning streak will be broken? Zheng Nayan had expected this, but there was still a trace of cold sweat on her face, and sure enough, as expected, there was a voice of opposition. But she believes that when she really sees the actual operation, her thoughts will change. So let's start. With the normal escort battle matching successful, Bai Yuxian and the others as the attacking side. 5 people were transported to a truck. Cha Sungqial didn't expect the first game to be a guard battle. This is a game mode in which the attacker pushes the carrier to the finish line, and the defender blocks it. Although it is the first time to play a 5v5 team battle, I am looking forward to what kind of style the micro-exercise god will show. As the first round officially begins, the car started. All 5 people found their positions, and the 2 hid in the carriage. 2 people were also arranged at the front of the car. Bai Yuxian is at the back, but Bai Yuxian suddenly stopped and turned around. Qi Cheng was also shocked. He didn't understand what Bai Yuxian was doing at all. The micro-operation god was retreating. Was this planning to go around? The so-called backward attack is not the front of the target, but backward attack. Although the general formula is to stay near the target, it is also a good judgment if you have that ability. But under normal circumstances, it is not easy for one person to stop 5 people. Then Bai Yuxian jumped to the roof of the building with a few jumps. Or netizens have confidence in Bai Yuxian. But if it is a micro-operation god, it is possible. This is a match, not a ranking. And it is all new, and it is estimated that it can be done. But there are also different opinions. How do you know that there is no small size of fried fish on the opposite side? From the map, Bai Yuxian quickly approached the enemy. What an amazing speed! So fast he was about to encounter the defenders. I saw Bai Yuxian jumping into the... And below him is the defender. I saw him holding a dagger high. It looks like he's going to kill someone. Then he slammed the dagger in his hand out. The first unlucky guy was born, and it happened to be stuck in his neck, and the sudden change surprised others. What? After the rap, the yellow hairy mouth is open enough to stuff an egg. But he was the one who died in the next second, and Bai Yuxian completed the double kill in the opening instant. Seeing that 2 companions have fallen, and the other 3 people's brains are directly down. What is our team doing? I will stop them first. You go to push the cart. Okay, but they seem to have forgotten Bai Yuxian. But they don't know that this is the killing of the gods. In the next second, Bai Yuxian eliminated the remaining 3 people. Bai Yuxian's teammates were stunned. Looking at the dead names one by one, what was the situation? The kill prompt keeps swiping the screen. In this way, they won the first leg, the end. Netizens were even more happy. The reaction of my teammates, hahaha, I'm also annoyed by me. I won without doing anything, and someone should know how to be grateful if they fly with their thighs, okay. Zheng Nayan and the 2 were also shocked, although they were looking forward to the micro-fucking god flying, but it was a bit of a pity that it ended too quickly. For some reason, I feel that the rhythm of the game today is particularly fast. Is there something urgent? I have to say that Cha Sungqial's sixth sense is very accurate. Zheng Nayan can only play a ha. Who knows? Let's continue to watch first. And then there are the remaining 3 modes. The War of Annihilation has just begun, and Bai Yuxian's shot is a lure. Quickly kill all the opponents. Next is the Occupation War, which starts with a decisive battle, and the opposing players are stunned. What the hell was that person? Stop him. And the 2 people on the roof hurriedly released their abilities in an attempt to stop Bai Yuxian's footsteps. But Bai Yuxian directly used chains and daggers to climb the ladder. 2 jumps and rushed upstairs. As soon as they met, they bleeded the 2. He is still too strong in perfect existence mode. Finally, there was the battle. Bai Yuxian single-handedly successfully captured the flag, so Bai Yuxian showed an overwhelming 5 kills, ending the game instantly. Anonymous Viewer 62 once again privately sponsored 3 million won, and also left a message. Today's live broadcast is hard. Then I will post you a special task. Please open the new system of reversing planets while playing. Zheng Nayan felt that she was about to take off, and it was 3 million again. Yuxian, here it is again. Sponsorship and messages from Anonymous Viewer 62, 3 million. Use this money to do a fan activity, have a meal, and update the equipment. Bai Yuxian has no problem with these things. He just wants to know the message of Anonymous Viewer 62. Looking at the screenshots being developed, the new system requires that the game be played at the same time. It means that whether it is PvE or PvP, can I only keep fighting? Bai Yuxian closed his eyes. I don't know what he was thinking. In order to find out the mastermind behind the Anonymous Audience 62, Bai Yuxian finally compromised. In short, let's do what that guy wants first. A few days later, on the day of the filming of the 3rd micro-exercise tour, Bai Yuxian came to the combat training ground of the Alien Administration. Immediately, he received a message from Li Yuzhen. Junior, I am temporarily unable to take on the role of shooter due to injury, so I found a team member to replace me, and if you come to the training ground, I will introduce you to you. Zheng Nayan was also confused. Who would be the substitute? Considering the status of the micro-fucking god, he should send a famous dignitary. Some netizens speculated that it was Jin Ji, and then some people denied it. After all, Jin Ji felt busy to death, and some people people said that it was either Jin Hao or Zhang Haiying. As soon as the two met, Bai Yuxian found that Li Yuzhen's body was covered with bandages. Is the senior's health better, thanks to your blessings? But for the time being, you still have to let others be the shooter. Then he looked in one direction, and it happened to be over there. Hello, I'm Kim Hana. Netizens took the lead in exclaiming, wow. After Li Yuzhen, Kim Hana is Kim Hana, envious to death. There is no hope. The eldest brother is happy to this extent, but I still prefer Sister Yuzhen. Li Yuzhen and Kim Hana belong to the difference in orientation. Beek Wu Haiyan was stunned at first. Please take care of me. Am I Beek Wu Haiyan? Kim Hana. In terms of strength, he is the veritable second in command of the alien administration after Jin Ji. It is indeed tricky to meet as enemies in that world. Since the two of you have already said hello, then I will withdraw first. In fact, I also came here secretly. What? Didn't you say you got permission to go out? Then the junior pleases you. After saying that, Li Yuzhen walked away directly, and the straightforward Jin Hina bared his teeth and claws on the spot. Li Yuzhen, stop for me. The scene was embarrassing for a while. Then she coughed twice, and heard that you would use a sword, mainly a long sword or a short sword, both of them. Do you use both? I'm curious what level it has reached. Then let's not just have a quick discussion. Cha Xunqiao in the live broadcast room was shocked when he heard this. Zheng Neian was a little unclear what's going on. I saw Cha Xunqiao sweating like rain, and the current plot development is a bit surprising, and he competed with Kim Hana. Isn't it common for people to fight with swords? That being said, not all players use swords. This is because the micro-operation god is the protagonist. Zheng Neian heard the words like a ghost, and she was also sweating like rain. What? Suddenly got goosebumps, saying that most of them should be supernatural users, and they are completely coping with AI. Even if it is a fully coping AI, because there is a fixed storyline, I think it has limitations. But this is a very different direction from other players. In other words, it is entirely possible that the game will develop in a completely different direction based on the subsequent story of the player's behavior, just like reality. At this time, both of them were ready, and the battle was about to break out. At this time, Jin Hina made another request. Let's compete with a sword without superpowers. Bai Yuxian said that it was impossible. His ability was physical enhancement, which was a permanent passive, so it is also in effect now. In this case, Jin Hina said that she would also use a little ability appropriately. So the competition officially began, and she saw that Jin and Na released green energy. Without hesitation, he cut it towards Bai Yuxian. Bai Yuxian's body instantly appeared several afterimages, making a sword-drawing motion. With a bang, the attacks of the two collided together. Jin and Na hit the ground with their right feet. A gorgeous turn knocked the white feather string out. Cha Xunqiao felt that Kim Hina was really not to be underestimated. So strong. Zheng Neian said that it should be the construction of the Fengshen genre. Seeing that Bai Yuxian was in a weak position, Jin and Na took advantage of the situation. Half right, half wrong, because it was based on Jin Hina that the Fengshen genre was born. However, the nuclear weapon seat is also very powerful, and it is not inferior at all in terms of speed. In the face of Jin Hina's stormy attack, Bai Yuxian resisted every blow just right. Netizens exploded. It's really not covered. Isn't this a side mission? Why is it so good? I also want to learn swordsmanship when I see this. Jin he was also surprised. The white feather strings on the opposite side are very strong, not only fast, but also accurately cut into flaws. It seems that it doesn't matter if you show a little bit of real ability. Kim Hana seemed to have changed into a different person, as if the Tyrannosaurus Rex gene in her body had been activated. The wooden sword in her hand instantly stabbed in front of Bai Yuxian's eyes. The powerful abilities all stabbed the air, creating ripples of energy in the air. Sure enough, I knew you would die. But at this time, Bai Yuxian turned into ruins behind him, and the live broadcast room was instantly swiped. Sure enough, it's Jin Hina. Can't the United Nuclear Martial Forces win Jin Hina? The nuclear base currently only unlocks 2 core elements, and if you unlock another one, you should be evenly matched, and the evenly matched may be stronger. Beek Wu Haiyan's skills made Kim Hana very satisfied. Beek Wu Haiyan said thank you. If it was an actual battle, the victory would probably be less than 20%, and it was still far from the world over there. Immediately, Jin Hina asked the doubts in her heart. Who did you learn your swordsmanship from? I taught myself. It's good if self-study can reach this level. Please come with me to have a place for you to see. At this time, several pop-up windows appeared to complete the sparring with Kim Hana. The level is up, the level is up, the level is up. Immediately, they came to a place that looked like an armory. This is actually the armory of the Otherworld Administration, with all kinds of weapons, because it was said above that Mr. Wu Hyun seemed to need a handy weapon, and the fat man who spoke was Kim Hyun Woo, the leader of the support and auxiliary team of the Alien Administration. Yes, there are ready-made weapons, but there is no need to use the white version of equipment without any special effects all the time. Jin Zainiu saluted the two of them. Then you choose slowly and then come out. I will be excused first. Okay, take your time to choose. At this time, Bai Yuxian looked at the weapon in front of him and thought there was nothing more worth taking than expected, and this was just a good deal. In front of him was a spear, the vampire gun Dragos. The first effect increases the cutting cutting power of the blade. The second effect absorbs blood on the blade to restore stamina, and the third effect gains dominance over blood. He thought he would choose this, but the next second he was shocked. That's the Soul Eater, a two-handed sword that looks ordinary. The first effect of the Spirit Eater, Soul Eater, will never be destroyed. The second effect increases the cutting power according to the number of souls devoured. The current number of souls devoured is 0. The third effect restores a certain percentage of the physical strength caused by the Soul Eater. The fourth effect is sealed, and the fifth effect is sealed. This effect is only applicable to PvE content. But Bai Yuxian couldn't figure out why the things that were supposed to be on the black market were here. Could it be that the things that were originally stored in the alien administration were secretly resold later? And this was the only possibility. He didn't expect to encounter the weapons used in that world here. Jin Hana was a little surprised. Do you want to choose that one? Yes, I want this two-handed sword. It's really interesting. I didn't expect this two-handed sword to be higher than Bai Yuxian. Jin Hina said that she would ask for the transfer of ownership over there, and Bai Yuxian couldn't put it down and rubbed the two-handed sword. Zheng Neian was stunned. What the hell is going on? It stands to reason that weapons with only 2 entries usually appear at this stage. Netizens also think this is unreasonable. How can there be a 5-entry weapon? It appeared so early, and it is also a random entry, and the result is all the best attributes. I obviously didn't have that kind of thing when I went to the mechanical warehouse. At this time, Chocolate rewarded Jenga netizens with 1,000 yuan and left a message. If all the seals were broken, it felt like it would be a graduation weapon. Hee Cha Sunchial is now used to it. In fact, this is not the first time that the nuclear seat has obtained an advanced version of the equipment, and the hermit necklace obtained in the last live broadcast was originally a prop that would not be dropped until the later stage of the... When he said this, netizens also remembered, and after thinking about it carefully, they really patronized the hidden plot and forgot that the Hound came out of the first sweep, who still has air traffic control equipment. Everyone who understands that the risk-reward mechanism of reversing planets is very clear, and the more difficult the challenge, the more generous the rewards. Because the first sweep killed the Hound, so can you get the hermit necklace? That's right, plus the nuclear seat escaped from the research institute. To the sparring with Kim Hona, everything was perfect. Indeed, Bai Yuxian has always been pushing horizontally, so this Soul Eater is his reward. This speculation makes sense, of course. This is only a hypothesis at the moment. In short, let's continue to read on first. Hearing that the transfer of ownership had been completed, Bai Yuxian expressed his gratitude. Now that we have a new weapon in order to practice our hands, let's go sweep around. Jin Hina is worthy of being a battle maniac. This is a continuous mountain rain. Neither of them expected that there would be a portal on the top of the mountain, and this warm-up exercise was really well done. It turned out that the guard soldier really didn't lie. He said that the portal would be a little higher, but the two didn't expect that this was the top of the mountain, and they clearly said that they just needed to walk a little more. In short, this is an area infested by wolf-type, beast-type aggressors, and they are small-scale beast-type invaders, which is considered a low danger level. Wolves are social animals, and these guys have a strong defense instinct for their territory and will soon swarm to them. Bai Yuxian closed his eyes. Is he a beast-type? Although it is more tricky than the insect-type anyway, the goods below B grade are almost the same, but it saves him the work he is looking for. Kim Hana said that she would not take action unless the situation was critical, so she was watching from the side first and asked Beek Wuhaian to cheer up. Beek Yuxian summoned the Soul Eater from the shadow warehouse. Then a wolf howl came from the mountains. Bai Yuxian knew these guys were coming. Jumped straight into perfect existence mode. In the face of the menacing wolf pack, Bai Yuxian made a posture to draw his sword. At the moment when the wolves approached, he waved his two-handed sword. With the first blow going all out, the Soul Eater drew an arc of sword light. The wolves began to bleed in an instant. In the next second, the Soul Eater changed, and a blood line lit up in the middle of the sword body, and the Soul Eater's cutting power increased. Netizens are excited. Wow, is this taste? 10 out of 10. Zheng Neian also opened her mouth wide. He actually wielded such a big giant sword as light as a feather. Cha Sungchial didn't know how to cry. It turned out that there was a netizen who called Cheng Zhuan to give a reward of 50,000 yuan and left a message, which is really amazing micro-manipulation skills. Bai Yuxian looked at the Soul Eater in his hand with great satisfaction, and sure enough, it felt completely different from other weapons. Kim Hana was shocked by his sword. This is Tianyu Slash. He feels that Bai Yuxian is becoming more and more mysterious. At this time, Bai Yuxian finished harvesting the first batch of wolves with a sword, but this was not the end. A few more big wolves with arcs appeared, and it seemed that the visitor was not good. Chi Cheng pinched a cold sweat for him, and he had already brushed out the elite monster. Zheng Neian didn't expect the speed of attack and destruction to be so fast. The wolves launched a fierce offensive again. Bai Yuxian had a sword in his hand, and directly threw the Soul Eater into flight. Cha Cheng was once again shocked by Bai Yuxian. Where did he learn that kind of martial art, which was reminiscent of listening to He Nuz Tianyu Slash? As a good friend of Beek Wuhaian, as far as he he knows. Bai Wuhaiyan has never studied physical education, so there is only one possibility because of the dual arena. At this time, Bai Yuxian killed another two-handed sword, which seemed to be alive in his hands or became a part of his body. At this time, I love the dueling arena to sponsor 1,000 yuan and leave a message on the dueling arena training method. Who can withstand this? I saw Bai Yuxian's toes slamming on the ground, jumping into the air. The posture of grabbing the sword with both hands was also very strained. Hold the end of the hilt with one hand, grab the sword with one hand, and stab the soul eater into the wolf's vital points. Jin He-na was a little stunned. This is not only excellent, it is simply whether the god of war is good or not. At this time, the system also pops up with 3 pop-up windows, and the cutting power of the soul eater increases. At this moment, Bai Yuxian's eyes froze. It felt like the air was shaking. Bai Yuxian took a defensive posture. It seemed that something big was approaching. Otherwise, Bai Yuxian would not be like this. In the next second, a giant wolf with 2 lantern eyes pounced on him. Bai Yuxian was as small as a snack in his eyes, and the good guy was the leader individual silver wolf. The silver wolf bit his soul eater at once. Qi Cheng's blood boiled when he saw it, and the leader appeared individually. Because of his size and speed, he was famous for his cute new harvester. Then there was a pile of dust on his deathbed. Although the micro-fucking god is tied, he is at a disadvantage in strength. But at this time, this picture is worth interpreting. I saw Bai Yuxian holding the silver wolf's big fangs with one hand and his gums with the other. It seemed that he was accumulating. Then he shouted, and one of the silver wolf's teeth was broken and thrown away. The silver wolf let out a miserable howl, and a large amount of blood rushed out of the gap in the teeth. Bai Yuxian swung his sword again. Hold the hilt of the sword again with both hands. It is indeed much stronger than elite monsters, but at this level, another sword was cut out, only to see a white line cut out in the air, and the silver wolf was split in 2, devouring the souls of individual leaders. The soul eater's cutting power increased. Immediately, the ground shook a few times, and Jin He-na had to sigh because it was caused by the silver wolf falling to the ground. As expected of the alien administration, the most anticipated trainee operator. To be honest, because the individual leader is much stronger than the evaluation level, I am still hesitant to make a move. Zheng Neian in the live broadcast room is not calm. Just say, didn't she say that it was difficult from F+ to E+ at the beginning? This level is not to mention B grade. Qi Cheng also frowned. The measurement standard is indeed very strange. Maybe not only the content of the mission, but also the difficulty will be affected by the player's behavior. Netizens don't think it's a big deal to see the excitement. The difficulty of the difficult tasks will increase after clearing the difficult tasks. The difficulty of the purgatory created by themselves, and the tasks of the micro-operation god do seem to be particularly difficult. Of course, this is just a hypothesis. Then again, if you kill it, why the individual leader reversed the planet and didn't close, what secrets there are in it will soon be revealed. Bai Yuxian was also confused at this time, which was an obvious anomaly. Come with me, I have to find out the reason. But in the next second, Jin He-na was shocked. I saw a giant egg in the nest on the ground in front of them, which they never expected. At this time, the dome began to crack. Immediately, the golden light bloomed, and both of them took a posture of attacking at any time, not knowing what would come out, so be careful. But the next second, a cute dog appears and circled around the two of them, and the two were even more confused. Zaya Abo. Netizens were even more excited. What? Is it something like a pet? Anyway, this is the first time I've seen a reversal planet, and there should be no pet system. Jin He-na was a little strange. It was indeed an anomaly. It turned out to be an otherworldly creature that was not hostile to humans, and he just finished speaking. The puppy also sniffed at Bai Yuxian's feet, but Bai Yuxian seems to have no feelings for him. Do you want to kill him? Jin He-na touched her chin. Although in principle, alien creatures must be executed, but he is strange and cute, and it is best to bring it back to the Institute for analysis in special cases. Bai Yuxian lifted it up when he heard this. Then he put the soul eater back into the shadow warehouse. After all, it is starting to collapse now, so you have to get out quickly. Headquarters of the alien administration. In a medical research room, the doctor looked at the test results in his hand and looked confused, and it was the first time we encountered this situation. The results of the study showed that this creature was not an otherworldly life form, and Jin He-na put forward a view that if it was not an otherworldly life form, it might be a summoned body created with supernatural abilities. But we did not have the ability related to the summoned body, which was also something she couldn't figure out. The doctor also has his own opinion, speculating that it is not caused by them but from the reversal planet core, although it has to be studied in detail. Then it will be protected by the alien administration in the future, and the doctor does not know how to answer. Is that it? Then I saw the little guy rubbing against Bai Yuxian's body. It seemed that the master's engraving had been completed, and the living form that had been engraved according to the regulations could not be protected. So was this engraved. At this time, a pop-up window appeared. The Thunder Wolf had been registered as a pet, and Bai Yuxian was really stunned. At this moment, a pop-up window suddenly appeared. Emergency maintenance announcement. In order to update the server, will start maintenance in 5 minutes. Please go to a safe place and disconnect. Beek Woo-hyun doesn't know what happened, but feels like it's targeted at him every time. What's going on, everyone? Got a pet that he didn't have before, and suddenly issued an update announcement saying that it was accidental and too strong. Cha Cheng obviously didn't believe it. There must be something tricky in it that they didn't know. Eat seaweed rolls and seaweed-wrapped rice to sponsor 1,000 yuan, and leave a message to reverse the Planet Pet World premiere. Haha, even faster than the update. Haha, Zhang Nayan is not stupid, and immediately thought of Bai Yuxian. Is it because the micro-fucking god got a pet to update urgently? But netizens disagreed a little this time. It's just a coincidence, don't be blindly excited. But this timing really feels like it is completely coping with the situation of AI, and the developer does not have this live broadcast. How can it cooperate with the update? But what they don't know is that a woman's sixth sense is too accurate. Let's see the details later. Today's live broadcast is here. See you next time in the live broadcast. And then the two are also disconnected and offline. Immediately there is a black screen, currently offline, so stay tuned. Next live broadcast to watch other live broadcasts. What people never expected was that someone was watching their live broadcast in the conference room. This is the live stream in question, and this is the conference room of the headquarters of planet Earth in the beautiful country. The woman sitting in the main seat scratched her head with both hands, saying that the micro-operation god is not the one who discovered the completely coping AI player that even we don't know. Yes, we are also paying attention. The system update that even the development team didn't know about. The woman was very headache. She called Sophia the leader of the Reverse Planet development team. The man slapped it on the table, and the team leader should know that the only one who could do such a thing was Isaac. Isaac is the former development team leader and genius developer of reverse planning, and is currently missing. Sophia bit her finger. That freak, sure enough, disappeared by herself. I didn't expect to shut down the server for updates without authorization, and Deus has been trying to wake up, but there was still no response. Deus was an artificial intelligence created by Isaac to assist him in developing the game, and he also stopped working with Isaac's disappearance. First look for it. Is there any update data that we don't know? If the current situation happens again, it will be difficult to handle. Zyro Pingtu's self-awareness is still online. Can we find it? If Isaac is determined to hide it, Sophia at this time will vividly show the unreasonableness of women and leaders, and must be found out no matter what. There is also a micro-operation god listed as the management object of the passenger aircraft, in case something happens, in order to take immediate measures to monitor the live broadcast in real time. Yes, understand. Isaac doesn't know what you're thinking, but I'm never going to let things go your way. Isaac is like an invisible black hand, controlling it all. If they knew that, Bai Yuxian's 10 years would be so scared that they couldn't sleep. At this time, Anonymous Viewer 62 sponsored 5 million and also attached a message. Thank you for your hard work. This is a reward for completing special tasks. For the next special mission, you will need a reliable companion. It's a certain cafe inside. Bai Yuxian looked at the screenshot on his phone. This is an Anonymous Viewer 62. He didn't know what kind of trick this guy was playing, and whether it is there or here, there are only special tasks related to the system. Then there is only one possible candidate is a developer, or at least a related person, who is closely related to the system. Zhang Nayan saw him looking at his mobile phone without saying a word. I am talking about Anonymous Viewer 62. Could it be someone from a game company? And as soon as you find a pet game, you will update it urgently. But Bai Yuxian still didn't want to believe it, and said stubbornly that it should be just a coincidence. Why do game companies want to watch the live broadcast of an ordinary player, and then change the topic with a guilty conscience? Let's not talk about this first. What is the big news you said in your text message? Here, the SSR Cup invites you to be a coach. As the largest PvP competition in the country of Smida, the SSR Cup usually invites individual anchors, well-known internet celebrities or former professional players to participate. Bai Yuxian had a trace of cold sweat on his face. Why are you looking for me in that kind of competition? And you are still a coach. This still needs to be asked, because you are now the center of the topic, and the SSR Cup has an official support coach. This position may be that they think it is more suitable to be a coach with your level than to be a player. How about taking this opportunity to participate? Also show your coaching ability. Bai Yuxian thinks what he said makes sense. The coach's words are to cultivate disciples. That's right, if you decide to leave, I'll help you prepare the rest, and it's not bad to hold an audition for selecting disciples. For the next special mission, you will need a reliable companion. Thinking of this, Bai Yuxian decided to him once. Zheng Nayan stood up excitedly. Really, you just need to figure it out. This will also be of great help to our live broadcast. I have to send the acceptance email before you regret it, which will keep Zheng Nayan busy, and I can't wait to borrow a few hands from netizens. A few days later, on the day of Bai Yuxian's live broadcast, everyone hung up, and the audience was very happy to see you. And then Jung Nayeon started working again. I have a big announcement today before the live broadcast starts. sports. That is, our plug-in brother will participate in the SSR Cup as a coach, and this news shocked netizens. Why not be a player or a coach? If you want to be worthy of the level of the plug-in brother, you have to at least invite a fighter or a person of Anders' level. I heard that Jiang Suli will participate as a player, of course. Some people have different concerns. That picture should not be made by the anchor himself. Chi Cheng also expressed his opinion. Playing the game well and teaching well are not the same thing. I am really curious about the coaching level of the plug-in brother. What he said. Bai Yuxian said that the rank is still relatively low, so he plans to concentrate on raising the rank today. And after saying that, he started to do warm-up exercises. Chi Cheng thinks this is a good idea. If you want to be a coach, you really have to try to raise the rank as high as possible, so that there is enough platoon. Netizens remember that now Bai Yuxian's 3 modes are all golden ranks. Chi Cheng immediately came out to correct it. To be precise. Against the golden dispute, gold survival. Ungraded is like this. Zheng Nayan added on the side, survival mode has been double queued with me before, and I won 10 consecutive victories at that time, so I can directly play the ranking. At this time, a netizen posted a task to get more than 40 kills without using weapons in survival mode and win, with a bonus of 3 million won when completed. Both of the drivers opened their mouths wide. The boss is awesome, haha. This must be taken. There is a task in the first hand. This is fun. Immediately, Zheng Nayan sent this message to Bai Yuxian. Can you get 40 kills in survival mode without weapons? Netizens don't think it's a big deal to see the excitement. It has to be this. Is this the rhythm of the failure of the opening mission? If this succeeds, it will be another famous scene. But the next second, Bai Yuxian accepted the task. Whether you can get 40 kills without a weapon will be clear right away. The match was successful. The location is the military base of Region I. It seems that Bai Yuxian was teleported to the periphery. He was also a little surprised. Under his perception, there are a total of 19 people around here to complete 40 kills, and it seems that we have to hurry up. Then he tapped his toes on the ground, make a starting position. Then he disappeared in place with a whoosh. He was everywhere in the base. Wherever he goes, a player is eliminated, and it's all one-hit kill, and players can't withstand his punch at all. Zheng Nayan and the others were stunned, although they knew that Bai Yuxian would definitely have no problem. But this speed was too fast, which was something humans could do. Netizens are also crazy. What is this? It's too fast. I dizzy when I see it, and my eyes can't keep up. Then there was a series of pop-ups, and Bai Yuxian swiped the screen with a kill again. It can be seen from his feet that Bai Yuxian completed it almost instantly just now. Otherwise, he wouldn't have slipped out more than 10 meters just to stop. At this time, he completed 18 kills in one go, and the periphery was almost clean. He felt that he wanted to go to the central area to see, and he didn't stop to rest, and Chi Cheng was hit hard when he saw this. So why not withdraw from the tour? Time flies, and at this time, only 2 of the 100 people are alive. A K player sat quietly waiting for Bai Yuxian to come to the... Bai Yuxian came out in the next second. Now he raised his long legs of 1.8 meters high behind him, as if he wanted to send the caped player away. But the caped players have long been on guard. One dodged the ground and was instantly smashed by the rubble and flew over. While this can be avoided, what kind of reaction speed is this? This is the plug-in. Has this hang appeared? And the repeaters that are open and hung have started again. The caped player slides back more than 10 meters to stabilize his body. Then he clenched his fist, and he was playing without assistance, and he looked very strong. This may be something that Bai Yuxian didn't expect, and the two sides looked tense. Chi Cheng was also very surprised. This matter seems to be a physically enhanced player like the plug-in brother. Zheng Nayan is also the first time to see this situation, and this player's killing skills are not simple. From the statistics, it can be seen that a total of 15 have been killed so far. Wow, the person who completed 15 kills. Hahaha, is that a lot? The main reason is that the plug-in brother is too perverted, and those who can kill more than 10 are considered professional level, and generally if they can get 5 kills, they are playing well, and whether the plug-in brother who has killed 39 at present can achieve the legendary 40 kills. Then Bai Yuxian disappeared in place. This is also the first time the two have met face to face. Bai Yuxian punched him in the air, and the air was blown up by him. But the cape player was not a weak one, and the counterattack came as promised, and Bai Yuxian blocked it with his arm. Jump up and prepare to kick. The cape player is kicked backwards and slides out. In the first time, it was obvious that neither side took advantage, and the Dupeng players were very unconvinced. Clench your fists again and prepare to attack. Cha Sungqial's comments are very in place. This offensive and defensive battle is really exciting. The movements of the two people are comparable to professional martial artists. Zheng Nayan is also very shocked. What is the origin of that person? This can make netizens excited. Wow, what's the situation, haha? The first time I saw an amateur hermit master who can fight like this with a physical plug-in brother. Hahaha may also be a professional player. What do you say? How can there be a professional player or a professional player in this rank? Bai Yuxian felt that the other party's movements were not bad, and then the two disappeared in place. Is the cape player empty with this hit? And Bai Yuxian's attack can hit the opponent no matter how you look at it. What is even more puzzling is that Bai Yuxian did not clench his fist but stretched out his palm. Is there any trick? But in the next second, he quickly clenched his fists, and it was almost over, good guy. Was this an inch of fist? Concentrating his strength on a little moment and exploding. The caped player was directly bombarded and disappeared in place. I saw him sitting on the ground in embarrassment, and sure enough, it was still not possible to use an unskilled genre. The game was very fun. Let's have a good fight next time. And then his figure began to disappear. Bai Yuxian was a little confused when he heard this. What does this guy mean next time? At this point, the game is over. Bai Yuxian won the final victory, and he also achieved the legendary 40 kills as he wished. Cha Sungqial announced the success of the mission, and Yung Na-yeon was even more excited. May I ask if you are still the DUS viewer who released the mission before? Immediately, DUS rewarded 3 million won. Thank you for the task. Wow, 3 million won? The cow is crazy. It's crazy. The boss can reward a popsicle if it's convenient. I don't mind. It's inconvenient to reward a hamburger. At this time, in addition to money, there is still money in Zhang Nayan's eyes. Okay, so let's take advantage of this momentum to continue to improve the rank. Netizens feel that her eyes are not right but more excited. In this way, Baek Yuxian won a total of 98 consecutive victories that day and reached the master rank in all modes. At this time, two siblings in a family were swiping their mobile phones, and the girl was holding a Pikachu. They were browsing the reversal of time and space forum. The first one was Bai Yuxian's competition post to select disciples, and it seemed that the two brothers and sisters were also very interested in the selection competition. At this time, the girl suddenly spoke. Brother, have you seen the announcement of the disciple selection competition of the plug-in brother? Let's also sign up to try. The girl's name is Zhang Yali, a professional game anchor. I signed up a long time ago, and I am my brother. The boy's name is Zhang Duyun, who is also a professional game anchor. The action is so fast, but you also helped my sister and me register for a broadcast, by the way, saying that if I had known it, I should have taken care of my sister more. It seems that this is the fun of dragon and phoenix fetuses, and I want to be a big one. At this time, Sophia was also paying attention to Bai Yuxian. I saw special matters written on the screen. 1. The highest kill record in the history of survival mode comes from the audience DUS huge mission, and the last two survivors, no external program intervention was detected. Special matter 2. The preview will carry out disciple training activities. The name DUS surprised Sophia. A few days later, hardcore sightseeing. 5 minutes before the live broadcast, Bai Yuxian looked at the thunder wolf in his hand and found that he had 3 skills. They are gnawing, howling, and rolling, but what is the use of these skills? Bai Yuxian really doesn't look down on them. Zhang Nayan also felt that there was no special function, and it felt that there was not much difference from the pets obtained by other players. But he thought it was an emergency update, and he was looking forward to a game in vain. Oh yes, there are too many people who have signed up for the selection of apprentices. Brother Cheng Ji and I have screened out a group of candidates. Can you help see him when you are free later? We will continue to PvE before the candidates are determined. Today he changed his costume. At this time, Cha Cheng's reminded Miss Nayan that the live broadcast is about to start. I have to go. I'll give you a signal later, and you'll start right away. Bai Yuxian looked at the thunder wolf in his hand, so he had to send this guy home first. Thunder wolf is selling cuteness at this time. Bai Yuxian looked at it and didn't speak, not knowing what he was thinking. The next step is to officially begin. Suddenly, Bai Yuxian was shocked. I saw several messages from the Otherworld Administration. From 13:21 today in the direction of Longshan Park, Longshan District, a reversal of the planet runaway occurred. January 103:22 Ziayuan Village, Nandong District, Metropolitan City, Changshu Cave, Subai Mountain direction. At 13:22 today, Busan Metropolitan City. The driver was also shocked. This was a large-scale rampage. My God, that kind of situation happened so quickly. Netizens are not calm. What do you want to do with this plot if this continues? I think even the aggressor will come out. Since it is a rampage incident, it means that the other world will officially intervene, so the probability of what is said upstairs is very high. Reversal planet rampage refers to the other world's erosion of the reverse planet that imprisons the invading individual, causing a rampage event. Bai Yuxian frowned. Is the dimensional war about to start intensifying? At this moment, a pop-up window appeared. Task: to deal with a large-scale runaway incident, please deal with the large-scale runaway incident by eliminating the aggressor individuals. At this moment, Kim Hee-na waved to Baek Woo-hyun. How do the juniors and Sister Na feel like they haven't seen each other for a long time? I feel that their roles are reversed. Only I think so. Kim Hana is always full of energy. I'm ready for the car. Let's go. The two came to an invasion site and saw goblin corpses all over the ground. We were still a step late, and Bai Yuxian didn't expect it to be a goblin. It seemed that it was solved by the agents who arrived first. Those guys are good at tracking and should be chasing fleeing civilians. Then Jin Hee-na looked at Bai Yuxian. Jr., your strength should be no problem to act alone. Let's solve it separately. Bai Yuxian said that there is no problem at all. Then Kim Hona began to act. See you later. Bai Yuxian felt that he should also act, so where to start first? At this moment, a voice came into Bai Yuxian's ears. It's not too late. I saw a few goblins chasing a girl. But the next second a chain appeared, hits the top of a goblin's head. Just in an instant, Bai Yuxian stepped on the other goblin to the ground and took back the chains. There was only one left, and the chain in Bai Yuxian's hand rushed towards the goblin like a snake, and the girl was so frightened that she covered her head. I saw a flash of sword. The last goblin was also killed, and all three goblins were killed by him in one move, and this wave of operations directly knocked down netizens. I don't know and think that this chain is haunted. Anecdote: Brother Canal's chain and plot have also become a hot topic overseas. Don't believe it. What you said upstairs is true? The saved girl asked tremblingly. Well, you are an agent of the Otherworld Administration, and it should be safe to walk along the road below. The girl turned around and ran away according to the instructions. Thank you. Bai Yuxian glanced at him. Is the trap person the last one? This is endless, and the boss must be dealt with as soon as possible. The next second, a red-skinned goblin was holding a weapon and preparing to sneak attack. For this kind of sneak attack, Bai Yuxian had already found a sliding shovel to dodge, which was really easy to say. Then he threw out the chain in his hand, but it was bounced away by the goblin with the weapon in his hand. Bai Yuxian was a little surprised. Suddenly he discovered that there was still a black shadow hidden in the forest. Who it was? But the red goblin would not give him a chance to explore and rushed directly to him. For a while the goblins actually had the upper hand, and netizens were not calm. What's the situation? How do you feel that he is only on defense? Zheng Neian and the two of them couldn't figure out what was going on. Why didn't he fight back? Yes, and he didn't seem to be looking at his opponent but looking elsewhere. Bai Yuxian withstood the attack of the goblins and said to the black shadow in the forest, if you only plan to watch the play on the sidelines, then I'm welcome. At this time, the chains of his chains had been cut by the goblin, but the next second the goblin let out a scream. It was Bai Yuxian who counterattacked and made contributions, and the goblin also finished his life. Beautiful. Should it be like this? It's so cool to watch. But Bai Yuxian's eyes were always on the black shadow in the forest. He just looked at the black shadow so directly. Then speak out. It turned out to be not a goblin, to be precise. The dimensional invaders resembled humans in appearance, but they belonged to the other world, also known as demons, alien people, etc. Netizens really exploded. The aggressor appeared. Why did it really come out? But this is the first time I have seen the aggressor. Zheng Neian and the two were also shocked. The invaders still appeared at this point in time after all, and they usually had to barely see one or two in the second half of the plot. Brothers, PvE is really beyond imagination. The dimensional invaders took a fighting pose as soon as they appeared. Bai Yuxian has never seen anything, but it is the first time that the aggressor has appeared in this way. In this case, he sacrificed his life to accompany the gentleman and also took a fighting posture. The war is about to break out. Bai Yuxian rushed to the other party first. With every step, it feels like the air is shaking. Bai Yuxian punched out, but the dimensional invaders also threw a punch. But they were all easily dodged by Bai Yuxian. Cha Sungqial also noticed something was wrong, and for some reason this scene doesn't remind you of the last game of the last survival game, right? Zheng Neian said that she didn't know much about unarmed fighting. Wasn't it all the same? But are the aggressors so good at close combat? It turned out that Bai Yuxian was just a temptation just now, but now he has been sure. This guy was really imitating his movements. In the world over there were also people who turned the research upside down in order to kill him, and specially created the trait Adnal based on him. At this time, the aggressor punched again, but Bai Yuxian already had countermeasures. I saw him pinching the head of the aggressor with one hand, and this inferior imitation was too clumsy. In the next second, the aggressor was pressed to the ground by Bai Yuxian and rubbed. The ground was smashed and cracked. Some netizens sympathize with the aggressor. It hurts to watch. The aggressor was beaten so badly, then let you beat him well. Bai Yuxian raised his fist again, followed by a crazy output at the aggressor. Who is it that actually does the same thing as the research institute over there? Is it the Enterprise Alliance or someone on the side of the aggressor? Then he thought of something. The aggressor does not imitate him in PvE. In this way, he is indeed a person who can interfere with the game system in all directions. He is also the one who has been trapped in the game for 10 years. Anonymous viewer number 62, and that guy again. At this moment, a voice came into his ears. Is this side cleaned up? It's actually Kim Hana. Yes, it's already done. Netizens are happy. It's too slow, hahaha, because this is a classic routine. Isn't it all about waiting for the event to end? Then Kim Hona was also shocked. This was the aggressor, and he stuttered a little when he spoke. It seems very surprising, and is also a leader-level individual. Then she took out the walkie-talkie. There is the body of the aggressor here. Please send the aftermath team over, and please also check if there are other invaders around. After arranging it, she breathed a sigh of relief. It was really hard for you. Sure enough, I didn't see the wrong person. It was the right choice to give you here, and the seniors also worked hard. But what about the situation in other places? The situation in other places seems to have stabilized just now. In short, let's evacuate as soon as the aftermath team arrives. Okay, understand. The mission dealt with a large large-scale, out-of-control situation, and the completion level was increased, and one ability score was obtained. Headquarters of the Alien Administration. Bayuxian has become a frequent visitor here, and I heard that you are looking for me for nothing else. It is about the aggressor you caught. I investigated and found that he was completely different from the aggressors I had seen so far, and it would not be an exaggeration to say that he was a completely different species. So I would like to hear more about the situation at that time. Is there anything special about it? Yes, first of all, the leader-level individual, Bayuxian, told me about the battle process. Jinji was shocked when he heard this. That guy actually wanted to imitate you, and he was really imitating. That's right, my brother fought with him personally, so it was impossible not to know. But why did Jinji's reaction be so serious? That is to say, why is the reaction so big? It seems that the aggressor will imitate this more important than we think. Is it to start a new plot? It is very likely. There has never been a time in history when invaders imitated humans, and if those guys change their tactics and start disguising themselves as humans, we must admit that there is little we can do to stop them from infiltrating the planet. Bayuxian was shocked when he heard this. Indeed, the disguised guys would definitely act in a direction that was beneficial to the other world. They will throw society into chaos and allow the otherworldly invasion to begin in earnest. And if it refers to the joint venture, they will not hesitate to join forces with the aggressors for their own interests. Jinji sighed when he heard this. In short, it was thanks to you that the situation was prevented from deteriorating this time. While further investigation is needed, you have worked hard. Then he pushed Bayuxian a box, so you are now fully qualified to have this. Bayuxian opened it and took a look. This is. As soon as Bayuxian came out, a sweet voice came. The juniors haven't seen each other for a long time, but it is actually Li Yu-jin and Kim Hana, and netizens are excited again. Sister Yujin, Sister Yujin, Sister Yujin, how do you feel like you haven't seen each other for a long time? Hahaha, super cute. Are you looking for me for something? I'm here to congratulate you. I received it from the team leader. Official agent badge promotion from internship to full agent is our tradition to be worn by seniors to wear badges, and it turns out that this is the case. Jin Hina pointed to Li Yujin. It should have been put on by your direct senior, but this guy's hand looks like this. Li Yujin smiled silly. Then Kim Hana put the badge on Bayuxian's collar. Congratulations on becoming an official agent. Congratulations to your juniors. Netizens are envious. Hug left and right are envious. These two people don't laugh much in the main plot. Thanks to becoming an official agent, although you will get a lot of permissions. But juniors, you need to remember only one thing right now. The right to act alone, which is the right to skip complex programs and directly perform the tasks you want to do. Li Yujin was a little emotional, but it's really a pity that you have the right to act alone so soon. I have only gone on a mission with my juniors. Kim Ha-na directly mended the knife on the side and was injured in that mission and lay down directly. That time there was a special situation. Yes. In short, even if you have the right to act alone, you don't have to go alone. You can call me at any time and I will help. Thank you. So what do you plan to do with your solo action? Just at this moment, Zheng Nayan called a pause. What the hell, the anchor, you gave a preview anyway. I was watching it, and suddenly I heard his voice, which startled me. Everyone was shocked, because Mr. Chengji has other schedules, so I'll stop here today. But there will be a major announcement next. Everyone saw the announcement not long ago, that is, Bayuxian was preparing to recruit disciples live, and that the draft was about to begin. Its name is New Nucleus, and this name was given by Zheng Nayan herself. You think it's new? Are these words all names, and is the taste of this name serious? After all, is the name of the live broadcast room originally Peace Sightseeing? Hurry up and announce the list of participants. I heard that there are a lot of people signing up. Yes, the screening work is almost over, so please look forward to the upcoming live broadcast until it brings into the perspective of the players. Only then did I know the gold content of the humanoid plugin Bayuxian can attack with 12 players at the same time. Ordinary people are already very strong if they can resist, but he knocked down 12 players on the spot, only from the perspective of a purple-haired man, do you know? Seeing the blue whale's flame gun easily dodged, seeing the twins being thrown out like sandbags, seeing the sword life, even Bayuxian's defense could not be broken. Only then did I deeply feel how powerless I was, bringing in Zheng Nayan's perspective to know how reliable the nuclear weapons seat is. A few days later, 10 minutes before the live broadcast of Superstar, Baek Woo-hyun and Jung Na-yeon discussed the process. So is it okay to proceed this part as it is? Okay, good. At this time, the audience was already full of players with residual blood, including some celebrities. The YouTube blogger with 100,000 subscriptions is Sword Life, and the new anchor Zia, who has just started broadcasting, seems to be indeed not a person selected according to the number of viewers. At this time, a small flat head attracted the attention of the twins, and the younger brother quickly saw that there was a blue whale. It turned out that Blue Whale had made Wild Words, the king of nuclear bodies, bodies, and to be honest, it was not enough to be praised. The twins were suddenly a little upset. I came to sign up was already funny enough. Why choose an anchor who leads the heat? It won't be deliberately chosen because you want to wake him up in public. You think the character of the nuclear body king is the same as yours. Zheng Nayan looked at the list and immediately became excited. Blue Whale just caught you. It turned out that he deliberately chose him. The live broadcast will start soon. Everyone is in their place. 321. Hello everyone, I am the commentator Chi Cheng. People suddenly found that the background of the live broadcast room was different. Is this the draft scene? As previously announced, today is the disciple draft, so we came to the outdoor studio that can accommodate many people. At present, there are many contestants waiting for us, so we will immediately invite the combination king and invite the combined body king to appear. In the next second, Bai Yuxian was teleported into the live broadcast room. Hello everyone, I am Bai Yuxian. Netizens were also excited to see this. They were really the king of nuclear bodies, and they could finally communicate. This suit was too handsome, and some people shouted, take off the mask to protect personal information. The selection players were also in close contact with Bai Yuxian for the first time. Oh my god, that person was the nuclear body king. Beek Wuhaian was silent and didn't speak. He thought of meeting with Yong Nayon in private. Nayan, is there anything in the barrage that needs companions? If you say companions, it means to form a team. That is a crusade. The so-called crusade is the same as the reversal planet, which is one of the two core contents of PvE, and the crusade is different from the reversal planet. You only need to defeat a powerful individual, but because you have to crack the special mechanism, so you have to form a team, and you can only get one crusade a week. Bai Yuxian looked at everyone in the audience. As you know, I am here today to select and guide students, and once you become my instructor, you must fully follow my teachings. If you don't have this confidence, you can leave now, and even if you are qualified, you may be eliminated at any time if you don't follow my instructions. The girl was shocked when she heard the words and eliminated it, and netizens felt that it should be like this, and they had to work hard to at least rub the heat. Bai Yuxian continued, but as long as you are willing to learn, I promise to at least bring you to the rank of master. Xiao Pingtu immediately questioned, but you yourself have just reached the master rank now. I think you have to prove your strength first. Bai Yuxian thinks his proposal is very good. So be it, I'll have a 12-on-1 duel with you. As long as you can deal even one effective blow to me within 10 minutes, you will win. And if you lose, it will be my victory. Zheng Nayan and Cha Xunqial were shocked. Beek Wuhaian didn't discuss it with me, and Cha Xunqial was obviously scared. However, there are also doubts that those who successfully inflict effective blows do not need to participate in subsequent selections and are directly qualified. But without constraints, this is certainly impossible. Bai Yuxian seemed to know what they were thinking. I would neither step out of this circle nor attack first. Netizens exploded, thinking that Bai Yuxian was too contemptuous of people. But if I was the king of nuclear bodies, I would be convinced, and if I was hit, it would become a legend. The twins immediately raised their hands. Can they join forces to attack? Bai Yuxian's answer was simple and powerful, allowing abilities or weapons to be used at will, and then his expression became extremely serious, and then the duel began. Blue Whale grinned, thinking that he was pretending. Then I want to see how long you can last. As soon as he finished speaking, he launched the flame pterosaur, and the others didn't expect him to do what he said. What? The Blue Whale's attack seemed to be huge, but Bai Yuxian just tilted his head slightly and avoided it. Then there was an explosion behind him. Blue Whale looked at all this in disbelief. How could it be? Since it was so easy, it dodged my flame gun. Netizens immediately gave him the answer, because he is the god of the body, and the god of the body is honestly not to the extent that it should be praised. Bai Yuxian touched the back of his head. Time is running out, everyone, you can go together. The contestants were shocked to hear this, but in the next second, they attacked Bai Yuxian with their respective abilities. Bai Yuxian immediately entered the perfect mode of existence. Before the players could see how Bai Yuxian made a move, they fell to the ground. What? The attack didn't work at all. The woman touched her head. I tried to get closer, but I found that I couldn't get close to it. At this time, the twins stood up. Don't give up, start now. Just leave it to us. The two siblings attacked Bai Yuxian from two directions. Girls attack the bottom, boys attack the top, and there is no problem with their tactics. Unfortunately, their opponent was Bai Yuxian, and the two were caught instantly. It flew back faster than it came. It turned out that they were all thrown out, the strongest amusement rides. It was really fun to watch, netizens commented. The two siblings were suddenly smashed and knocked out. But at this time, the time came. None of them succeeded. Bai Yuxian successfully held the ring, and the 12 people couldn't win. After all, they were all gold ranks of the same age, and even the circle failed to let him take a step, which was really impactful. Bai Yuxian looked down at them. This should be enough to prove my strength. Does anyone have any objection to this? Everyone said no. They didn't want to lose face anymore. I only heard Bai Yuxian continue, of course. This is just a proof of my personal strength, and my coaching ability needs to be slowly proven in the future. So from now on, the selection of supernova and nuclear explosion wings has officially begun. Bai Yuxian sighed after speaking. laughing. Cha Cheng also became serious. The disciple selection competition finally officially began. What is the first task? The first task is ability control without auxiliary correction. The task is to use the specified composition. Lift a 150 kg barbell and hold it for 3 minutes, which is a very simple task, of course, without auxiliary correction. Netizens are not calm, simple. What the hell is the difficulty of the first mission? It is difficult to use the ability without auxiliary correction, and it has to last for 3 minutes. So what kind of construction is it? Chi Cheng explained that the construction of this mission is a physical strengthening system, which is relatively easy to use without auxiliary correction, although it is not as good as a perfect existence, but it can also strengthen some physical strength and muscle strength. That's right, Brother Cheng and I also tried it ourselves, and it was successful in a daze. And from the photo, Zheng Neian actually killed Chi Cheng in seconds. The anchor has tried it himself, so there is really nothing to say. Now the focus is not that, it is the soul of Cha Cheng. Only I have seen something like a ghost. Is this a supernatural photo? Okay, who is the next person to challenge? Please switch the system window to visual mode. By the way, is there a problem before the mission starts? The twins immediately began to raise their hands. Is there any benefit to completing it first? Is there any harm in completing it later? Netizens feel that the twins even have exactly the same questions, and it feels amazing that the two people take turns talking. Scores are distributed in a tiered manner according to the order of clearance, so the faster you succeed, the more advantageous it is, because the bottom 4 places in the total score will be eliminated after the end of the second mission. What to eliminate? And there are 4 people. Zheng Neian continued, but you can challenge again, please don't be burdened. But the time limit for the first task is 30 minutes, including practice time, so start now. After 5 minutes, each player was shaking like chaff, and everyone was concentrating on practicing. At this time, netizens of Mint Chocolate sponsored 1001 and left a message to see who would be the first to clear the customs. Chi Cheng turned his head to look at the two of them. What did the two think? Bai Yuxian thought it would be the twins. Zheng Neian asked rhetorically, isn't it Jian Sheng Dai? Netizens also joined the discussion. These 3 are people who usually play melee construction. Melee combat originally comes with physical enhancement. Should be very familiar with this mission. Zheng Neian also reacted. Wait, this is too unfair to remote construction users. Netizens immediately took the rhythm. Why only give preferential treatment to melee but discriminate against long-range abilities? Do you think melee combat is stronger than long-range? In this case, why did you invite long-range abilities to participate in the show? It is too eccentric. Zheng Neian felt that the big thing was not good. It was not good, and public opinion was bloody. She immediately explained, and she definitely didn't just want to say that melee construction players were disciples. The second mission is beneficial for remote construction, so eliminators will spawn after the second mission ends. So that's it, melee once, long range once. That's what it means. Zheng Neian laughed me to death in a hurry. I know, you calm down. So who wants to challenge? Immediately 3 people came out to challenge, and as netizens guessed, the twins plus the sword were born and died. Okay, so prepare. At the beginning, the expressions of the 3 of them were wonderful at this time. Once cleared, rushing, the twins will definitely be able to pass. I believe that Jian Sheng Jiangxia will die. A minute later, the twins actually started bickering. Sister, why don't we give up? I'm sorry, sister, I won't give up easily. The 1525th brother-sister war broke out. Seeing that they still have time to bicker, it seems that they are at ease. 2 minutes later, Jian Shengjian's face was red with suffocation. Netizens immediately cheered him on, but it was a pity. Jian Shengjian died at the threshold of 2 minutes and 50 seconds, and it seemed that his attention was instantly distracted. At the moment when Zheng Neian and the others were talking, the twins broke through for 3 minutes, congratulating the first pair of grids on them. The twins suddenly became excited when they heard this, and sure enough, the twins were the first. After all, they were the ones chosen by the god of harmony. Of course, Jian Sheng said that he would challenge again immediately. Chi Cheng thought it was possible. Jian Sheng tried to clear the level for the second time. It seems that it has been successful. The blue whale is not calm, and there are not many places left. If you can't make it to the top 6 this time, it is basically equivalent to being eliminated. His face is a little ugly, and he is so hot in the name of the god of combination. If he can't even enter the semifinals, it would be too embarrassing. He felt that he had to find a way. It seemed that he had come up with a trick. At this moment, Jung Nayeon announced the birth of the 4th qualified person. It's good, everyone's attention is focused on that side. So who will be the next person to challenge? Haha, is this feeling? Jung Nayeon looked at him. Do you want to challenge? Yes, I challenged. So please switch the system window to visual mode and come up. Blue whale touched the system window and slowly walked up to the stage. Then hold the bar with both hands. So from now on, I saw him working hard. Although there were beads of sweat on his face, he was a little secretly happy, and he did it beautifully. Netizens were a little surprised. Mr. Blue Whale broke through for 2 minutes in the first challenge. Is this guy Blue Whale also a talented monster? And thought he was a hot guy, but he he didn't expect to have 2 times, and it really lasted longer than expected. But Bai Yuxian looked at him with something wrong. The girl is obviously a timid and unconfident waste, but it can smash the ultimate Edinal with one move. Chi Cheng and the two of them were extremely shocked. Just because of Bai Yuxian's guidance, not only did the girl regain her confidence within 15 minutes, it also won this selection for his teammates. At this time, the blue whale had held out for 3 minutes. Zheng Neian announced that he was successful. Congratulations, please go to the certificate now. But before she finished speaking, she was interrupted by Bai Yuxian. Wait a minute. Bai Yuxian walked up to the blue whale. What are you doing now? Do you say me? Netizens don't know what's going on. What's going on with this atmosphere? And the god of the body is angry. Bai Yuxian's tone became serious. Do you think I can't see it? Are you driving assist correction now? Yong Nayeon asked him to wait. What does it mean to assist in correction? Netizens exploded, and the blue whale opened the assistance. What did they say? Isn't it clearly written on the system window that the auxiliary correction is 0%? The combination god seems to have looked away this time, but some sharp-eyed netizens saw the difference, and the system window seemed to be a bit blurry like a picture. Zheng Neian turned to look at Bai Yuxian. Why do you think Mr. Blue Whale turned on auxiliary correction? Bai Yuxian immediately explained. From the walking posture to the posture of holding the barbell, there are traces of fine-tuning unique to the auxiliary correction system, because the body's movements will deviate from the original trajectory in real time. Some netizens don't believe that this can be felt, not bragging. What are you doing? How can you see that others have used auxiliary correction? Zheng Neian asked quietly again. Are you sure? Otherwise you will be backlashed by public opinion. Am I sure that besides this can let me see your real assisted correction system? Blue Whale's expression became a little hideous when he heard this. Didn't the auxiliary correction system be placed next to him? And what if it wasn't what you thought? You should just apologize verbally. He was interrupted before he finished speaking. If I was wrong, I would apologize and quit the live broadcast industry. If it is not enough, all the income I have so far can also be given to you. Is this okay? Then please adjust this auxiliary correction system. Look, the blue whale heard the words, and it was difficult to ride the tiger. It seemed that the exposure of the matter made him very annoyed. Knowing, I can adjust it. But the next second, the blue whale pretended to be stupid. Why can't it be pressed? Is it stuck? Bai Yuxian was a little speechless. This acting is too bad. When the time comes, Mr. Blue Whale, you have been eliminated. Netizens immediately changed their style. Wow, it turned out that he was really playing tricks. No, brother, I believe in you so much. It took me a long time to come up with this trick. Brother Whale, you are too inferior. Blue Whale felt embarrassed and left a cruel word before going offline. I want to see how popular your broken live broadcast can be. Netizens thought he was so tasteless, and finally struggled, but he still slipped away. This is the average level of players. But how did the big guy know? I didn't believe you before. I'm really sorry. Zheng Neian coughed twice. There was a little commotion just now. We continued. Who is the next challenger? At this time, a girl raised her hand. I will challenge. In this way, the selection continued in a chaotic atmosphere, and the second mission, as expected, was occupied by players with remote configurations. The people who were eliminated later were very polite, and they were eliminated so early. It's a pity. I will cheer for your live broadcast. And Zheng Neian and the two also recalled that they had worked hard. Well, in this way, all the individual missions are over, and the next step is the team battle. Yes, 4v4 team battle, after which the winning team will be divided into 2 groups again for the final. This means that there are only 2 final qualified candidates, and we have divided them into A and B teams in a balanced manner, according to the ranking of the individual competition. Netizens are hotly discussing again. Is this the pattern of long-range versus melee? Only Surya is long-range in Team B. It looks so embarrassing, and some people think Surya is so cute. At this time, Connor Davog sponsored 5001 and left a message. What is the team's mission? Zheng Neian smiled. The selection of the big guy's disciples. The first team task that everyone is looking forward to. 2 ultimate Adinels will refresh every minute in the clearing where you stand, and the side that kills more monsters in 10 minutes wins. By the way, even if you leave your team's field, you will be eliminated. Each team will have 2 opportunities to challenge. Take the higher record as the final result, and the abilities and configurations used will not work, but the attribute correction will be set to 60%. Then the next challenge will begin. 2 random Adinel appear. As a result of the first challenge, Team A broke 10, Team B broke 8, and Team A temporarily took the lead. Chi Cheng has his own opinion. The long-range profession itself is more advantageous in terms of configuration combination, and in the case of enemies appearing in order, the long-range profession can concentrate firepower from a distance and gradually break it. But if the melee class can't kill quickly, enemies will continue to accumulate, and it is easy to be surrounded, and it is difficult to cooperate with each other. Netizens are also divided into 2 factions. It is true that the coordinated attack is still long-range output. There is really no cooperation effect between melee professions. Some people think this is discrimination. Melee, I just said a fact. How can it be be discrimination. Leah felt that she was dragging her legs. What should I do now? It was difficult to turn the tables in the second game. Zheng Duyun touched his chin, or we would ask the boss to guide him. Jian Sheng only remembered to guide. This idea is good, if our grades can be improved after guidance. The nuclear body boss can also prove his guiding ability. Yes, I can't rush out when I hear Zheng Yali's words. Let's talk to the judges. Yong Nayeon thinks this proposal is good, but for the sake of fairness, Mr. Cheng Ji and I will serve as the exclusive coaches of Team A. Netizens find it more and more interesting. Do the judges also have to participate in the battle? If the team is eliminated, will the judges also be eliminated? Is it an exclusive coaching system? Interesting. If Team A agrees, I have no problem, then let's discuss it first. But Team A felt that it was not better for them to accept the guidance of the boss. But some people had different ideas. But after all, the boss was a melee professional, and Mr. Cheng Ji might be better at remote guidance. I also agree with Mr. Universiade. And to be honest, how much progress can be made in 30 minutes? Yes, as long as we maintain the status quo, we will win. Immediately Team A agreed. Thank you. Then the task will officially start after 30 minutes of guidance time. Bai Yuxian officially began to guide. In order to effectively defeat Edinal, it is necessary to master their characteristics first. Unlike humans, Edinal is not afraid of injury. As long as they judge that they will cause more damage to the enemy than they receive, they will give up their defense and attack without hesitation. If you master that criterion and use it, you can predict Adinal's actions. Netizens think this content is so useful. Introduction to Adinal studies. Then Bai Yuxian took a fighting posture. So let's have a simulated battle. Please think of me as the ultimate Adinal to attack. The players were shocked. What's going on? His aura has completely changed. Although it is a simulation battle, but it is too realistic. Jian Sheng pressed his hand on the hilt of the sword. He swung a white feather string with a sword. Immediately Adinal possessed him, grabbing his long sword as if he had not touched it. Then he stretched out his long legs. Jian Sheng immediately became a leap in the air. Then he came into close contact with the ground. The twins looked at each other. We went up together, and I went up from the left. Immediately, the two siblings rushed towards Bai Yuxian. Zuria froze in place. What should I do if the shot missed? I felt like it would hit my teammates. Zheng Yali was greeted with a kick. Zheng Duan was punched. The two brothers and sisters didn't last a round, and they felt like their eyes were full of stars. Bai Yuxian also gave his own evaluation, and sure enough, except for the twins, there was no cooperation at all. He also has a general direction, so let's start with the way of cooperation. The people in Group B feel that Bai Yuxian is too strong. Some netizens find it strange. Why are they watching over there? But if I want to watch too, it's really super interesting, okay? How can I not watch it? Cheng Ji looked at them, okay? Please don't watch anymore now, because that set of tactics is only effective against Team B, who has more melee professions after all. And the two were shocked when they heard this. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right, it's enough for us to practice in our own way. So let's check the professional configuration first. 15 minutes passed quickly. I'm going to challenge. Come on, okay. Then please prepare Team B. Then two Edinal appeared. The showdown starts now. Zheng Yali punched out. Judging from the action, there was Bai Yuxian's shadow. Just as Edinal also threw a punch, Bai Yuxian reminded him to always be ready to counterattack. The cooperation between the two siblings is very tacit. The attacks all fell on Edinal. The next step is to make a death appearance with a sword. And while he is finishing off now, the great sword swings out Edinal and is cut in two. Julia felt a little redundant. Here's what I should do. Bai Yuxian explained to her beforehand that the key to the cooperation of the B team is the only long-range professional Miss Julia in the team. If you hesitate because you are afraid of hitting your teammates, you will miss the opportunity and you must attack decisively. At this moment, another Edinal appeared behind Jian Shengjian's death, which shocked him. If he turned around and counterattacked, it would definitely be too late. At this time, it was Shuria's turn to make a move, and she shouted ice pick. As soon as the words fell, the ice pick smashed Edinal. Yes, that's the feel really. This support is great. As expected of Shulia rushing towards the championship, netizens are cheering for him. I will guard your back. Please don't worry. Keep fighting. Zia Lia also regained his confidence after this blow. Jian Sheng gave him a thumbs up. Miss Julia did a beautiful job. Chi Cheng and the two were also shocked. So amazingly fast. This is simply the same as just now. What happened? Is there really going to be a big reversal? Time quickly passed 3 minutes, and Zheng Duyun hammered another Adinal at this time. Team B broke a total of 14. Netizens are crazy. 14? Crazy. This can be overturned. Is the special training effect of the boss so good? The time taught by the nuclear boss is only 30 minutes in total. I really didn't expect to be able to raise the record to this level. And the boss's guidance ability has also been fully proved. But the first team should not be affected by them. Just follow our own rhythm. Yes, come on, kill them all. However, a team defeated a total of 12 in the second challenge. Zheng Nayan opened her mouth wide, so that the highest records of each team were 12 for Team A and 14 for Team B. So the result of the team task was that Team B won. Several Several people suddenly cheered. They won, but behind the cheers, they were going to fight each other next.